Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Preston Field, where the Lee Summit Tigers are taking on the Park Hill South Panthers away. We're sorry for a couple of technical difficulties that have kept us from getting started thus far, but we're here and hopefully we'll be smooth sailing till the end of the game here tonight. Kyle, what's your key players here for Lee Summit as we go into another game?
Well, my first key player for the night is going to be Nate Morris. His production has dropped slowly but steadily since the start of the season. He had 6 catches against Liberty, 5 against Belton, and 3 against Blue Springs. So he's continually gone down in yards and in catches, so we'll see if they try and get him involved more tonight. I'd also like to see how the defense responds to a tough loss at Blue Springs High School, leaving only 23 points on the board. The offense just couldn't convert on the last 4th down, and we'll see how they produce tonight.
Well, we're here, Lee Summit, Preston Field taking on the Park Hill South Panthers. Darius Pearsall looking to will his team to their 2nd win of the season. Pearsall now in the shotgun, handoff to Manning, tries to run it up the middle, gets a few yards out of it, and I think that's good enough for the first down.
You know, last year when these teams faced each other, Jordan, it was a win for Lee Summit High School, but mainly by the ground. They had a lot of rushing yards, so we'll see if this offense that normally likes to pass will try and get some first downs on the ground more.
Pearsall, the lone man in the backfield. Looks to pass it over the middle. The pass is off target. And the receiver there, Max Weisner, falls to his right, and he's unable to catch it.
Max Weisner coming off a tough drop against Blue Springs. Had it in the end zone, just couldn't hang on for the win. We'll see how he responds tonight as Darius looks to be in the shotgun again.
Pearsall and Tapino now in the backfield. Pearsall rolls out to his right, looking to pass. Heaves it up, he tries to find Morse. It's tipped and nearly picked off. So we'll reset, and it'll be 3rd and 10 here for Lee Summit.
I'm surprised they didn't call defensive pass interference on that, as it seemed like the defender almost pushed all his weight off of Nate Morris. Kind of made him an ineligible receiver at that point, but there was no call, and the Tigers still awaiting the call from Coach Thomas.
Pearsall and Tapino. Pearsall standing at about the 50. The Tigers as a team on the 44-yard line of Park Hill South. Pearsall in the shotgun. He's got a man in motion. That's Willis. The snap. He rolls out to his right. He tries to find Willis. He hits him. Willis running onto the right-hand side. Dives and gets the first down for Lee Summit.
It was a great effort by Landon Willis there. You know, so far this season, we haven't really seen a lot of him offensively. We've seen him more in a defensive manner, as he has had 27 total tackles on the year, but clearly they're trying to get him influenced in this offense here tonight.
5 receivers for Pearsall, just under 4:20 here on the clock. Pass goes to Morse on the left-hand side. He's going to dive and get about 4 yards on the play.
One of the classic plays the Tigers like to run. Nate Morris didn't really get tackled there, kind of fell down on his own accord, juked the defender out. It was a good play by the Tigers, good for almost 7 yards. It seems to be like they're driving well on this drive so far.
Still 0-0 our score here. 3:58 on the clock. We've got about 2nd and 4 for Lee Summit. Pearsall and Manning in the backfield. Pearsall runs up, shouts some orders at his offensive line, and joins Manning once again. The snap, Pearsall looks to pass again. It's been going well. The pass is low to Manning on the screen pass.
Couldn't quite get it there to Micah Manning. You know, sometimes that's going to happen. They run a hurry-up offense right now. They're not hurrying very well. However, just something that happens when you like to pass a lot. He's ready to take the field again.
Pearsall and Manning still in the backfield. 3 receivers out for Lee Summit. The snap, Pearsall passing once more. Finds Ryan Belt over the middle, but it's thrown a little too hard, and he overthrows him. Belt unable to make the catch there. He was free if he caught it, but just overthrown by Pearsall.
It's now going to bring up 4th down. The Tigers like to go for it a lot. Last game against Liberty on 4th. It looks like they're going to do the same here. Pearsall awaiting his commands from Coach Thomas, see what type of play they're going to cook up here. They've been driving it pretty good so far up until this point. We'll see if it's going to be a run play where they try and do it in the backfield as Kai Tapino's in the backfield.
4th and 3 on the 28. Pearsall and Tapino in the backfield, 4 receivers. Landon Willis in motion. Handoff goes to Tapino, and he drops it. He falls on it, but it won't matter. It'll be a turnover on downs, and Park Hill South will regain the ball at the 25. Unfortunate play there on the miscue on the handoff. So the Tigers defensive unit will come out once more. Great heads-up play by Park Hill South to cause pressure in the backfield, and Tepino unable to hang on there on the fumble. Park Hill South offense setting up. It'll be a screen pass out to the left-hand side. It's caught and in space and finally brought down just before the first down. Gage Warren there on the reception. Good pass from Matt Schuenig. Suchanik again in the backfield. Timeout here. Seemingly called a referee timeout. 2:59 on the play clock. And they're going to go ahead and move the chains for Park Hill South. They say that Gage Warren got the first there. So 1st and 10 again for Park Hill South. See Suchanik in the backfield. The snap, he looks to pass again. He's got a man over the middle. It's Warren once more. He's brought down over the middle of the field after about a 7-yard gain. So Gage Warren has been a target now on both of Park Hill South's 2 plays so far.
Gage Warren's been Suanik's #1 receiver so far this season, has 5 receiving touchdowns. We'll see if he can pick up some more tonight.
Handoff here goes to the running back. Up the middle and finally brought down is Darius Fields. Referees will say that he got the first down. It appears it's going to be close, and they'll actually mark him short. So it'll be 3rd and inches. Nope, now moving the chains again. So some delayed calls here from the referees as far as the chains go. It'll be another 1st and 10 here for Park Hill South. Handoff goes over the middle, and in the backfield immediately is Lawan Miller. Sorry, Felix Anudike on the tackle. Been injured here the last few weeks and finally comes back and makes an instant impact.
That's right, Felix has been gone for a while. He was unsure earlier this morning as to whether he'd play or not. Clearly he is, and he's making an impact tonight.
The snap, Suchanik looks to throw again. He's got a man over to the left-hand side and pushed out of bounds short of the line of scrimmage. The original line of scrimmage, that is. So Nzinga not able to get much out of that one. Looking at 3rd and 11 here. Ball on the 45-yard line for Park Hill South. Suchanik in the backfield. Man jumped there for Lee Summit. They don't snap it, so no flag thrown. Suchanik still in the backfield, letting the clock run a little bit. 1:48. 5 on the play clock. The snap comes in. Suchanik looks to scramble out to the left-hand side. He's got space, but he won't get the first down. So it'll be 4th down for Park Hill South on the scramble by Suchanik, picking up about 10 yards.
You know, Suchanik, he's a passer first, but he's also a runner. He's the #1 rusher so far this season for the Panthers. He has 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. Clearly, he shows why with that speed just right there, the acceleration. Can really do it all. But it's 4th down. We'll see what they're going to do to try and pick this first one up to keep the drive alive.
Panthers going for it on 4th. 2 Suchaniks in the backfield. The handoff goes to Mike Suchanik. He runs it up the middle. He's got the first down and more. Ball brought all the way up to the 34-yard line. So a great run there for Park Hill South, and the Panthers are able to pick up another first. They are marching up the field. 52 seconds left here in the first quarter. Can they punch one into the end zone before the quarter ends? Matt Suchanik again in the backfield. Drops back looking to pass. He's got a man over to his right-hand side, and it's caught and brought in. Tackle happens at about the 28-yard line. Good play there by Brock Ivy.
Having a lot of success over the air tonight. We'll see if that continues as Matt Schuenig shows no signs of slowing down.
Suchanek again in the backfield. Fakes a handoff, and a flag is thrown, dropping the play dead. See what the verdict is here for the referees. They will call a false start on the Panthers, so the ball will be dragged back a little more. Boos coming from the Park Hill South student section, and they'll have to retry second down here from a little bit further out. Ball on the 32-yard line, 2nd and 8 for Park Hill South. Matt Suchanek in the shotgun. Referees whistling to start the play clock. Park Hill South taking some time to talk things over. And they will let the time expire here in the first quarter. Kyle, what have you seen so far out of both teams that you may look to see them improve on as we get past this first quarter and move into the later parts of the game?
Well, Jordan, we missed the first 5 minutes of the game, but something I would say both teams need to be working on is the penalties. It killed both their drives early on. It killed at least some of Tigers' second drive as well.
We'll take a quick break here and go to a sponsor and give you some more recaps when we are done.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News & World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Teams retaking the field here for the start of the second quarter. The Panthers looking at a 2nd and 8 as we switch sides of the field here. A lot of noise coming from this home Park Hill South student section. Not so much coming from the Lee Summit Tigers side of things, a little more densely populated over there. Matt Suchanek here looks to take over again for the Panthers. He drops back to pass here on 2nd down. The pass and a diving catch made, and a great play by Nathan Sharp. Catches it there on Thomas Smith, who went diving for it as well, but unfortunately doesn't have the position that Sharp has to make the grab there.
Nathan Sharp is one of Schuanick's great red zone receivers. He has 4 touchdowns on the season. He might be picking up a 5th as they draw closer to the end zone.
Handoff here going over to the left-hand side. He's got some space and he'll pick up about 7 yards. LaRon Mitchell there on the carry. First time you guys have heard his name tonight. Panthers now looking at about 2nd and 3. Suchanek still in the backfield with LaRon Mitchell. Dropping back to pass, throwing one into the end zone, and it's caught! Eric Avery puts the first points of the game up on the board for Park Hill South. And it's 6-0 here right in the start of the second quarter.
That was an impressive over-the-top catch by the receiver there. Park Hill South doing a great job so far. Moving the ball down the field, they've really opened up the running game as well as the passing game. That was just a fundamental drive. They were able to move the chain several times. We'll see if they can pay for this extra point.
So it'll be Michael Verhoeven on for the PAT. 6-0 our score if you're just joining us. Park Hill South just now scoring and tacking on the extra point as well. 7-0 here with 11:15 in the second quarter. If you're just joining us, I'm Jordan Wood. Kyle Cumberland is on the microphone with me as well tonight. Josh Walker runs all of our graphics and camera work as well. So far we've seen 2 hot offenses. The Tigers unable to convert on their last drive, and Park Hill South a drive split between the quarters, but finishing off here in the second with a touchdown. Kyle, what have you seen so far from Lee Summit that scares you as we go into the later parts of the game?
Well, what scares me is the fact that they're just not being able to stop drives right now. I mean, you saw multiple times on that little drive from the Panthers there. There were 7-yard rushes, there were 8-yard rushes, but there was also 15-yard passes, 10-yard. I mean, just little stuff like that. It's going to add up in the end, and it certainly did, reporting in 7 points for the Panthers. They're going to need to translate some of that defense into doing better. I mean, they have Felix NUDK back, a guy who hasn't been here in a while. Maybe he can get involved, get a couple sacks and a couple tackles tonight.
So we have seen NUDK play limited stops, but he did get into the backfield, causing a 6-yard deficit for Park Hill South. We'll see if we can hear his name called a couple more times. Michael Verhoeven just tacked on a PAT after the Panthers touchdown, and he's on now ready to boot the ball off to Lee Summit. In the backfield, ready to return. It's Landon Willis. Catches it in his own end zone, so it'll be called a touchback immediately. And the Tigers will start the ball on the 20-yard line.
The Tigers so far on offense this season have been doing pretty good at moving the ball through the air. The rushing game hasn't really been there like it was last year. They'll be able to see if they can move the ball more effectively. They are trying to get Kayets Pino more involved in this game. He's a big guy to move, and he's a great runner for the Tigers.
We have seen Tapino in the backfield a couple more times than normal this year. The handoff here goes to Micah Manning, the other running back. The speedster for Lee Summit picks up about 2 yards on the play. Coyote Pino, the more bulldozer type of running back that you see a lot of times in high school, also plays the linebacker position for Lee Summit. We've seen him more on the defensive end and as the punter for the Tigers this year rather than just the running back. Pearsall and Manning again in the backfield. Several receivers as an option for Darius. The snap and the handoff goes to Manning again up the middle. He's going to pick up some more yards this time and about 4 on the run there. This will be 3rd down and 1. Ball now on the 29 for Lee Summit in that classic hurry-up offense where they don't give the defense a ton of time to react. Pearsall runs up to his line and quickly back to the backfield. The snap, Pearsall throws a screen over to Nate Morse. If he gets past this one, he's got some space. The block pushes him to the direction Morse was trying to run, and he's brought down after getting the 1st down and about 4 extra yards.
That was a great block by Jacob Moracek, allowing Nate Morse to get the 1st down. It helps the drive keep going along, and we'll see what Pearsall can do here as he has 3 receivers out to his right.
Pass goes over the middle to Micah Manning. He's going to pick up 8 yards. And the forward progress there gets the Tigers moving again. We mentioned the hot offense in the 1st quarter. We'll see if they're able to keep it up now. That's been a point of contingency for the Tigers, being unable to score after these big drives that they do have. So far, so good. Pearsall in the backfield. Handoff goes to Manning over to the right-hand side. He tries to break a tackle, but he's unable to. In the backfield, that's Mike Suchanek, forcing a big loss for the Panthers. So it'll be 3rd and 6. We'll see how the Tigers are able to respond now. 9:15 on the clock. No need to hurry here for Lee Summit. Referees start blowing their whistles here, and it'll be a timeout called by Park Hill South. Kyle, what have you liked so far on this drive from the Tigers? If there's anything that you would like to see change, what would you maybe want to see changed?
Well, to be honest, Jordan, I just want to see more of Kayets Pino. I mean, so far this season, he had 11 carries in his 1st game. Last game, he only had 4. So I'd like to see him get involved more. I believe that he's a dominating force, hard to bring down guy. So if they can get him involved more, it's definitely going to open up the passing game. You can tell the Tigers love to pass. They have a lot of weapons in that area. Nate Morris getting involved a little bit more tonight. He's made some good catches tonight. He's quite fast. Not quite as fast as Mike Manning, but he's definitely up there. And Tigers have a lot of weapons on offense. They just need to utilize them effectively.
So the Tigers will once again march up to the line. Pearsall and Manning in the backfield. Several receivers for Lee Summit. Moracek, Shepard, Morse, and Belt. Pearsall and Manning still waiting in the backfield for the snap. Play clock gets rolling, and so will the Tigers. Nate Morse in motion. Pearsall rolls out to his left, looking to pass. He tries to evade the pressure, now rolling back to his right. He's going to have to run it himself, and he's not going to get anything out of it. Picks up about 1.5 yards, but that's going to mean 4th down for Lee Summit.
You know, last game against Park Hill South in 2018, Darius Pearsall did most of his job on the ground. He had more rushing yards than he did passing yards, not being as effective there. He kind of scrambled out to the right. The trips out to his left did not work, and he tried to make the best of a bad situation, and he picked up 1.5 yards.
Coyote Pino back, ready to punt. Punt goes downfield. On the returning end of it is Nathan Sharp. He calls a fair catch. It's way short. The Tigers will have to fall on it. They try to bat it forward, and they'll go ahead and pick it up at about the 34-yard line.
Jordan, you talked about us seeing good drives from the Tigers and just sputtering it out, and that's exactly what we saw there. Just couldn't quite complete when they had a third down. Didn't really want to rush it there, but they just couldn't pick it up after that time they had to game plan. And, it's disappointing, but they really do have a good defense, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a quick 3-and-out here from the Panthers.
We have talked about that Tigers defense. We are seeing the return of Felix Anudike, currently on the field for Lee Summit, number 8 for the Tigers. Already made a little bit of an impact to this point. Suchanek in the backfield, the handoff, and in the backfield, guess who it is? Felix Anudike there to wrap him up. Only his second game of the season. He started in the Liberty game and got hurt after about 2 possessions. And now quickly making an impact as he's able to back up LaRon Mitchell and the rest of this Panthers offense a couple of extra yards. So now in the shotgun, it's Suchanek and Mitchell in the backfield. The pass goes to Mitchell and it falls back to his right-hand side. The Tigers go ahead and jump on it just in case it was to be called a fumble, but it's called a forward pass and it falls incomplete.
That was good pressure there from Kyle Pino. We mentioned him being on offense, but he is a great linebacker for the Tigers. Jordan, you mentioned how we only saw a little bit of Felix Anudike in the first half. He was in just 4 plays, but within those 4 plays, he already had a sack and 1 tackle for loss. So obviously, his impact on this defense puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, Matt Schuenig.
So Suchanek in the backfield still with LaRon Mitchell. Several receivers here for Park Hill South. The snap goes to Suchanek. He looks to pass over to his right-hand side, and it falls through the hands of the Tigers and is picked up and caught by Nathan Sharp. Unfortunate there for Lee Summit, just turning around in time to see the ball and unable to make the reaction.
I mean, if Trent Fell picks up that ball there, it's an interception. It's a change of momentum for the Tigers, but now first down, the loud crowd for the Panthers are already getting into it, so momentum's definitely a big impact in this game.
Suchanek in the backfield, ready to pass again. They go at Fell's side once more, and it's caught downfield. A big play again for Nathan Sharp. And knocking on the end zone's gates once more is this Panthers offense. A great throw on the money there from Suchanek. Nathan Sharp looks a little shaken up after that play. He'll stay out on the field. Darius Fields in the backfield. He doesn't get the handoff. Suchanek keeps it himself and gets into the end zone. The ball falls on the ground, but it doesn't matter. It's picked up by the Panthers anyway, and quickly it's 13-0 with their second score in the first half.
I mean, it feels like 2 minutes ago we were watching the Tigers drum down the field, but a turnover on downs there, and look at where we are. The Panthers get their second touchdown of the game through rushing. They love to open up the passing game and then rush it right through the defense. Keeps them on their toes, and we'll see if they can make this point extra attempt to make the score 14-0.
Michael Verhaven once again on for his second PA attempt of the game, and the PAT is good. So Verhaven has been perfect to this point, and the Park Hill South Panthers have gone up 14-0. Kyle, you mentioned Felix Anudike being back from injury. Is he here to stay, or are we still a little concerned? He's been out for a little longer than maybe expected, now back on the field making an impact. Are we going to see limited minutes still from him as we saw in the first quarter?
I wouldn't be surprised if we did see some limited minutes from him during the game, but I mean, we'll see as the night moves on. Definitely don't want to work him too hard tonight and possibly re-sprain his MCL as he did in the first game. You know, it might just be for the safety of the player at that point, as the Tigers who care about that. But, I mean, if we do see him all the way through tonight, I think it's going to be hard for Matt Schuenig to really get the ball off in time, as he is a wrecking ball on that defensive line.
There was a big question in week 1 as to what happened. There was sickness from Anudike the day before. So that day you're wondering maybe it's just sickness, and then of course the worst news for the Tigers that it was injury. But he's back now looking to make an impact. He already has to this point. We'll see if he continues to do so. However, the Panthers have been able to work around it. Verhaven boots it downfield, targeting Micah Manning. Rather, Landon in the backfield, Landon Willis catches it in the end zone. So the Tigers will once again start at the 20-yard line.
I'd like to see from the Tigers offense a bit more on the passing game to open up. The Tigers have some great receivers, some of the best in the state. They got Micah Manning, one of the fastest. Nate Mort, he's short, but he is powerful. We saw that in the Liberty game, Belton game, and Blue Springs game. Almost had a touchdown in that one. But let's not forget, senior Ryan Belt hasn't had a catch tonight, but he had 2 touchdowns against Blue Springs last week. We'll see if they try and get him involved tonight.
First down and 10 for the Tigers. Pearsall rolls out to his right, senses the pressure, avoids the play, moves out to his left again, and is brought down in the backfield. 5:40 left in this one in the second quarter.
Jordan, we were talking about earlier how Landon Willis this season has taken more of a defensive role, but clearly he's not done on his offense. He just got a great pass there for probably 30, 35 yards, and it looks like he's not done tonight. He's gotten definitely some good looks from Darius Pearsall in the receiving game.
Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Jalen Johnson. 4 receivers for the Tigers. Pearsall in the backfield, awaiting the snap. A man in motion for Lee Summit. The handoff goes to him. It's Landon Willis, and the defense wasn't fooled a bit. Again, it's Mike Suchanek in the backfield making a tackle, but he grabs his hand immediately. Now he's got a hand on his stomach. He's shaken up on the play, and we hope that he's all right. Player's taking a knee here. Suchanek has had a big impact on this game so far for the Panthers. Several tackles in the backfield. And now the whole stadium falls to a hush here, hoping Suchanek is okay. .507 left here in the second quarter. 14-0 Panthers. Suchanek stands up and walks off the field in his own power to cheers from the student section of Park Hill South. Our location for tonight is Preston Field at Park Hill, the home field for both Park Hill South and Park Hill. The Tigers coming into this one, only 1 win on the season. The offense has looked pretty solid here to the start of this one, just unable to convert when it matters.
Jordan, we are here at Preston Field, like you said, and the Panthers so far this season are 2-0 at home, 0-2 away. Maybe it's something about this stadium that just kind of gives them a little bit of juice to go the extra mile and win those games, but we'll see if they keep the winning streak alive as they are up 14-0 against the Tigers, who suffered a crushing loss last week to Blue Springs. Almost had and some say probably should have had the win there, as they got it on the 2-yard line with 40 seconds left, just couldn't punch it in, decided not to go for the field goal and take the overtime route. They went for the jugular, and they just could not make it happen. So Tigers definitely looking for a good rebound here. The game's on today instead of yesterday. A quick changeup maybe it interrupted some of their game planning plans, but certainly doesn't seem to be affecting them so far tonight.
Once again, the Tigers offense comes out to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and long for Lee Summit. Ball on the 24-yard line. They've got to get to the 10. That's their magic number. Pearsall in the backfield. Fakes the handoff on a jet sweep. He has to roll out to his right to try to evade the pressure. He's got a man in the end zone. It's Nate Morse! And a touchdown for Lee Summit. 14-6 for the Tigers. And on a play that looked like it would be a huge loss, Pearsall able to evade the defense and find Nate Morse in the end zone. And the Tigers have points on the board.
Nate Morse right there just showing you why he is 6th in the state for receiving yards. His ability to get open and create that separation. He was probably a whole 4 or 5 yard steps in front of his defender there. Being able to haul that one in. A great pass by Pearsall on the run. That's just a good touchdown. You'll want to see more of those if you're the Tigers as they try and get the point extra attempt here.
Tigers now on to kick the PAT. It's up and through the uprights. So 14-7 our score with 4:50 remaining here. Good kick by Troy Huffman. And the Tigers no longer look to be behind it so much as they were before. Lee Summit offense has failed to convert when it's really mattered up until that last play. Pearsall rolling out, evading defenders, and finding Nate Morse in the end zone. Kyle mentioned the great separation that he's able to create. He's not a very tall guy, but he's quick, and he's able to use that quickness to his advantage. He's got great hands, as he shows you there on the touchdown for Lee Summit. As now the Tigers are within striking distance, down only 14-7. Troy Huffman, who's just made the PAT for Lee Summit, on now to kick it off to the Panthers. In the backfield for the Panthers is Eric Avery and Gage Warren. Both of them have had a decent impact on the offense to this point. Warren targeted a couple of times, Avery as well. Huffman now takes his mark. He's ready to aim downfield. Kick is up. And it's going to go all the way into the end zone and be ruled immediately a touchback. The rule here in high school, not able to return it out of your own end zone. So the Panthers will start it on the 20-yard line.
Panthers so far on their offense have been very successful with their drives. I mean, just being able to open up the running game and the passing game. Quarterback Matt Schuenig has been dominant so far. He's been reading the reads, and he's been getting separation from his wide receivers out to the sides. We'll see if they go to them more on the outside as well. As you see Trent Fell staying in, or no, going back out, taking a couple snaps off after that last drive.
They targeted Fell's side 2 times and resulted in 2 completions for wide receiver Nathan Sharp. Suchanik fakes the handoff. Good read by him to keep it himself. He goes up the middle and a first down quickly for the Panthers. Dancing away from the defenders, Suchanik gets it all the way up to the 33-yard line. Suchanik is joined in the backfield by LaRon Mitchell. Suchanik in his senior year drops back to pass. He has to evade pressure from the Tigers. Tupino was there, the one creating it, but the pass is complete to Mike Sharp. Nobody there. A flag is down, but the Panthers have strolled into the end zone. Nope, it's going to be called dead at the 1, but we'll wait here and see what the penalty is. Looks like Brock Ivy there waiting. He thinks it might be a holding on his own team there, and the Panthers are also running all the way back. It seems like they already know what the call is. So an explosion from the Park Hill South student section, but there's no real need for it, it seems. Nathan Sharp still does a great job of getting open. That's something that you want to see the Tigers stop, as he creates great separation and has nobody on him.
You know, Matt Schuenig just barely stepped over the line there. It's going to negate that whole drive there. I mean, just maybe a yard over, maybe just even a foot, but it sucks because now the Panthers have to restart again. What would have been a draw, almost a touchdown now. Starting back here, 2nd and long for the Tigers.
Matt Suchanek in the backfield, joined by Darius Fields. Quarter number 2 here, 4:28 on the clock. The handoff goes to Fields up the middle. He doesn't get much out of it, still behind the original line of scrimmage. They're going to say it was a fumble. And the referees will actually call the play dead. Lee Summit hopped up thinking they had won the ball back. But the Panthers offense still in control here. 3rd and 12, ball on the 31 for Park Hill South. Suchanek joined in the backfield by Joe Nzinga. Snap, Suchanek looks to pass. Finding a man over the middle and caught a diving reception there. It's called complete at the 40-yard line. Eric Avery on the reception. It's still not enough for the first down, so we'll see 4th and 4 for the Panthers. 4th and 3.
Eric Avery hasn't been targeted too much tonight, but he was able to haul that one in. He's been doing so far so good as the Panthers are forced to punt here. Can't take the risk tonight with being in their own 40-yard line. We'll see how good the punt is. Uh-oh, there's a flag down. We'll see what the call is from the referee. It's going to be on the Panthers. Not sure what it is.
Mike Verhaven, the kicker and the punter for the Panthers. And it'll be a flag on the Panthers. So already on 4th down, they'll have to back up even further. Back to receive is Landon Willis. Willis had a few punt return touchdowns last year. We'll see if he's able to do anything on this one. The punt from Verhaven is up. Willis is in the perfect position, catches it at the 31, surveys the field, and starts moving to his right. He's at the 40 and still going all the way up to the 47, 48, 49-yard line, the referees will call it. So it'll be 1st and 10. The Tigers in pretty solid field position here to start their drive.
Felix DK almost got a hand on that punt. If he would have, it would have been great for the Tigers, but Nate Morris making a good play out of some good blocks, being able to get it to their own 49-yard line. When we see the Tigers work with a short field like they did in Belton, they're usually able to march down fairly quickly. Hopefully, they'll be able to replicate some of what they were able to do on that last drive, which resulted in a Nate Morris touchdown.
Nate Morris' touchdown was the way we ended the last one. Pearsall rolling out away from defenders, able to complete the pass into the end zone, and a long one. A great play by the Tigers. And now their offense sets up again on their own 49. Pearsall throws it out to the left-hand side. It's Morse on the screen pass. He's got space. He's going to keep running all the way up to the 32-yard line. So big yards quickly for the Tigers. And the Tigers' offense has now got a new set of downs on the other side of the field. Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Micah Manning. Several receiver options still for the Tigers. Handoff goes up the middle to Manning. Runs over to his left-hand side. He's got space. He's going to have about a 9-yard run there. Unable to get the first, but a good job doing as much with it as he could.
On that blocking with that Nate Morris pass, Jacob Moracek, it's the second one he's made tonight, which allowed for the first down for the Tigers. Looks like they're going to be able to use him more throughout this offense.
Handoff goes to Manning once again up the middle. It looked like he got enough for the first down. The referees say he does, so they'll mark the ball at the 20-yard line, and the Tigers will be just outside the red zone there, the front of the football just peeking over that line. 2:40 left here in the second quarter. Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Jalen Johnson. Several receivers for the Tigers out wide. Pearsall runs up, gives some orders to his offensive line, and marches back to join Johnson once again. A man in motion for the Tigers is Landon Willis. Pearsall drops back to pass, feeling immediate pressure. Good block by Johnson. Pearsall evading pressure again. Great footwork by Pearsall. He's going to run it himself, and he's going to get all the way inside the 5. Wow, what a play for Pearsall.
I mean, he had almost 3 guys ready to make that tackle on him. Did a little sidestep to evade number 54. Got around a couple other guys and was able to almost make the touchdown there. I mean, He's showing why he's D1 quarterback right there, almost getting the touchdown on that play. Simply phenomenal by Pearsall.
So the Tigers now, the ball spotted on the 1 yard line. Pearsall joined in the backfield by Jalen Johnson still. Rather, Kaya Tupino, the handoff goes up the middle. Tupino's going to be short. So the Tigers unable to convert there on their first try at the end zone. So that'll bring up 2nd and goal for Lee Summit. 2:04 running down onto 2 minutes here in the second quarter. Pearsall will take it himself to the left-hand side on the fake handoff. He dives, puts the ball over the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Lee Summit. So it's 14-3 now. And if the PAT is good, we'll be looking at a tie ball game. 14-13 our score. Troy Huffman on now for the PAT. The holder is Ryan Belt. The snap, the kick is up, and it's going to split the uprights. So Huffman's 2 for 2, and quickly the Tigers have tied things. It's been an eventful second half, starting with 2 Panthers touchdowns, but quickly answered by the Tigers.
Jordan, we mentioned how last year against the Park Hill South Panthers, my bad, Darius Pearsall had more yards rushing than he did throwing right there on those both plays. I mean, showing why he is a dual threat quarterback with that touchdown by him. I mean, simply the 20-yard play was able to break the end zone and the plane for the touchdown.
The Tigers able to convert once again. Some worried energy coming here from the Park Hill South student section. Troy Huffman on, ready now to boot the ball downfield. 2 men back for Park Hill South. Eric Avery and Gage Warren. Back ready to return. 1:53 on the clock. Huffman stands back, ready to take his mark. Hand up in the air. Now running towards it and booting it downfield. It'll go in the direction of Warren, but it's going to fall into the end zone. So the ball will be placed at the 20 on the touchback. The Panthers will have another shot now. Instead of trying to increase their lead, they'll be trying to break away from Lee Summit for a second time. If you're just joining us, I'm Jordan Wood. In the booth with me is Kyle Cumberland. Josh Walker handles all of our camera work and graphics as well. The Tigers so far have looked very solid on offense. They're able to continue doing so as they've scored their second touchdown in as many drives. So it'll be Matt Suchanek in the backfield. Handoff and the run goes up the middle for the Panthers. Breaking away to the right-hand side and still running and brought down now. Joe Nzinga on the field once again for the Panthers. Several running back options. He's done a good job so far, and he continues to do so. 2nd down and 5, ball on the 25 for Park Hill South. In the backfield, Suchanek looks to pass to his left-hand side. The screen pass is complete, and running with some space and finally brought down out of bounds is the Panthers. Gage Warren there, the intended receiver, the found receiver, and a first down for the Panthers. Ball on the 31-yard line. This Tigers defense has done a good job stopping the Panthers on their last 2 drives here. In the backfield, Suchanek. The snap looks to pass again. A little pressure from the Tigers. The pass is dropped over the middle. Brock Ivy, the intended receiver there. Rather, Torrin Ziegler. He falls down hurt on the play. He's going to hop back up, and Park Hill South will try it again on 2nd and 10.
And their offense is also really good. Let's not forget, last drive was only brought to destruction by a penalty by Matt Schuenig. If not, it probably would have been a touchdown. So we'll see if they can keep what they've been doing so far in this game up.
Handoff goes over the middle and quickly brought down by Felix Anyudike. So we mentioned him returning tonight. He's made an impact for Lee Summit, bringing the run to a halt after about a 1-yard gain. Joe Nzinga again on the carry there. Timeout called by Lee Summit. Kyle, what have you seen here that's changed in these last few minutes for Lee Summit, able to put up 2 unanswered touchdowns and PATs?
Well, obviously the momentum by your quarterback is going to be a big change, but on the defensive side, I've also loved to see Felix Anyudike getting himself involved. I mean, there, to be able to get around the edge of the offensive line and then to be able to make the tackle almost for a loss, that's pretty good. It's going to force the Panthers to try and go through the air, and I mean, sometimes that's going to fail, as you just saw a pass drop by Brock Ivy there that would have been about a 3 to 4 yard pickup. Not much, but it does keep forward progress moving.
14-14 our score. Nate Morse and Darius Pearsall, the 2 scorers for the Tigers. We've seen a determined Lee Summit side to come back in this one, not running to drop another game. Only 1 win coming into this game on the season. Here at Preston Field, the Park Hill South Panthers looking to feed off of their home field advantage. In the backfield, we'll see Nzinga and Suchanek. Suchanek back awaiting the snap. Man jumps for the Tigers. That's going to be Anyudike. And so the Panthers will be able to march forward a little bit.
Definitely going to be able to put them more close towards the first down. You mentioned the home field advantage for the Panthers, and it's definitely showing here. The loud crowd, not what it usually is, being that it is a Thursday night and an hour drive from here at Park Hill South Stadium to Lee Summit.
Suchanek in the backfield, still with Nzinga. 3rd down and 3. Fake handoff, the pass goes over to the middle, and it's complete. The target there, Gage Warren. They've gone to him several times in this one. He's been reliable. Ball on the 49-yard line now, still in Panther territory. We'll see if they can cross over to the Tigers side of things. Warren in the backfield, or rather Suchanek in the backfield, joined by LaRon Mitchell. The pass goes way downfield, targeting Thomas Smith. It's going to be a diving catch and waved dead at the 16-yard line. What a play by Nathan Sharp. We've seen him downfield more than once in this one, and there again.
The crowd chanting Sharpie in appreciation for what he has done for this offense so far. It looks that he is the target when they go deep downfield and Warren more across the middle. Panthers seem to have their offense figured out so far tonight.
So we've seen a good few possessions here from the Panthers, unable to score in their last 2. However, they're looking dangerous on this one now as the ball is inside the red zone, marked at the 17. 14-14 our score. Lee Summit scored on their last 2 drives to even things up. It's been a great second quarter if you're just joining us. Park Hill South started it off with 2 touchdowns of their own, but answered by Lee Summit here on their last couple of possessions. Not much time remaining here in the first half. Still a tie game. Suchanek has looked impressive from the quarterback possession of the Panthers. Pearsall on the other side of the ball has looked solid for the Tigers. We'll see if the defense of either team is able to step up, because I think that's going to be the key to winning this ball game.
You're exactly right, Jordan. We know both these offenses are as explosive as they are, they're not going to be able to be easy to stop. But if one defense can just make one stop, like right now, it could shift the tide late in the fourth for the Tigers or the Panthers.
Any play counts in any sport, and especially here in football, where points mean so much. In the backfield, Suchanek dropping back to pass. Once again, he's got a target on the left-hand side. It's Gage Warren in the end zone. And a touchdown again for Park Hill South. Gage Warren makes it 20-14 for Park Hill. And the Panthers now have scored, making it the 5th touchdown of the quarter for both of these teams combined. So on now is Michael Verhoeven, ready for the PAT. Lines it up and steps back, ready to kick. The hold by Rico. The kick is up and through the uprights. So 21-14 is our score.
Well, we said earlier, Gage Warren seems to be their target when they go across the field, and he was exactly that there. A nice catch by him. And a little bit of traffic there, was able to escape it for the touchdown. The Tigers definitely going to be looking to make some changes going into halftime on that defensive side. It looks like they're getting a fair amount of pressure on the quarterback, but with Matt Schoening just being able to extend plays like he does, and the receivers just being able to get the separation that they've been getting, it's going to be hard for the defense to be able to cover that. But if they can and step up to the plate, then the Tigers are definitely going to win this game, because I can't see their offense slowing down anytime soon.
Fairhaven on, ready to kick again for Park Hill South. 21-14 our score after the touchdown by Gage Warren. A very good game so far for senior quarterback Matt Suchanik as he puts Park Hill South on top once again. Fairhaven steps back, ready to boot it off to either Nate Morse or Landon Willis. Both of them back ready to return for Lee Summit. Kick up in the air, goes to Willis. He'll have a chance to return this one. He's going to get further than what he would have on a touchback. He's going to keep on running and get the ball all the way up to the 33-yard line. So solid field position for the Tigers as they look to strike back in this one, but they're going to have to do it quick. Only 23 seconds remaining here in the half.
Yeah, with only 23 seconds left, it's going to be interesting to see what they try and come up with here. They don't have any timeouts left, so I'm not really going to be sure what the game plan is here. They might just want to let the clock run out, as they are going to be having possession as the second half starts.
So the Tigers may let the clock run out, but the way that they've played so far this year and the way that their offense has clicked on all cylinders in this one, I don't see them settling for anything less than 6 points on this drive. Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Jalen Johnson. The snap, Pearsall looks to pass. Pearsall feeling pressure, throws it over to his left-hand side. It's complete and brought down just short of the first is Nate Morse. Rather, Micah Manning on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 1 for the Tigers. 14 seconds left. Clock still running. Stopped, rather, at 14. Pearsall in the backfield. Steps back into a shotgun formation. Man in motion is Landon Willis for the Tigers. Pearsall dropping back, looking to pass once again. He's got a man downfield. It's Micah Manning. Rather, Ryan Belt making an incredible catch over the defense. Guys hanging all over him. He's able to make the catch in traffic. The Tigers out of timeouts. They've got to run all the way upfield here. 7 seconds on the clock. Pearsall in the backfield. The snap, and he's going to go ahead and spike it quickly. What a catch by Ryan Belt.
There's some noise on the sideline about that being an intentional grounding because he spiked that in traffic. There's no flag on the field, but a referee's coming out to make a call. We'll see what it is. Looks to be taking his time.
You can't throw the flag after the play has already been called dead, despite what the coaches say on the sidelines. So the Tigers should have 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line. Ryan Belt with an incredible catch, climbing the ladder and reaching up over 2 guys to catch the apple as it fell out of the tree almost. And the Tigers, great field position here. If they're unable to score a touchdown on this play, there's still always the chance for a field goal. 21-14 our score. 5 touchdowns combined between the two teams here in the second quarter. We'll see if the Tigers are able to do one more. Several receivers over on the outsides for the Tigers. Pearsall drops back, ready to pass. Several men chasing him down. He's going to launch a ball into the end zone. No flag is thrown on the play. Ryan Belt wanted it. The pass falls incomplete, and the half will come to a close there. We'll take a quick break here. The score is 21-14, and we'll listen to a word from our sponsors.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News and World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
Gear up for Back to Sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
residential and commercial plumbing needs since 1983. When plumbing problems arise, visit us at qualityplumbing.com. Universal Construction Company has been proud to partner with Parkville School District in their efforts to create new and improved facilities for learning, athletics, and performing arts since 2006. Please join us for the 15th annual Parkville Education Foundation Committee Breakfast at 7:30 on Tuesday, October 29th at Hilton KCI. It is a time when we bring out school, corporate, and parent communities together to honor the accomplishments of the district. Dr. Jeanette Coward will present the annual report to the community. Register at parkvillefoundation.org. The proud partner of the Parkville South Panthers, Park University is close to home and far from ordinary. Visit us in person in Parkville or online at www.park.edu. We all want more energy, more strength, more sleep. Orange Theory workouts give you more, changing you at the cellular level. Workouts scientifically proven to give you a longer, more vibrant life. Now in your neighborhood besides the Sprouts off 64th Street. Call 816-945-6551 or go to OrangeTheoryFitness.com. Price Chevrolet Rewards is all new. It's more flexible than ever. There are new ways to save and new ways to spend your savings. Now you can save every time you shop, whether you spend a little or a lot. And you can spend your savings how you want, when you want. Just check the Price Chevrolet app to see the offers we have this week, and then choose to spend them at checkout or at the pump. Get your new Price Chevrolet Rewards card at your Parkville Price Chevrolet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Preston Field. We're back with you here in getting ready to start the third quarter. We saw a very eventful second quarter. 5 touchdowns scored combined by the two teams. 3 from Park Hill South, 2 from Lee Summit. All 5 PAT attempts were good, and we're looking at a close ball game here at 21-14. The Tigers' offense, spearheaded by the quarterback Darius Pearsall, has been unable to answer the high-velocity, dominating trio of Eric Avery, Nathan Sharp, and Gage Warren. All 3 of those guys finding any pass coming their way from quarterback Matt Suchanek, and this Tigers defense has looked a little confused at times, however making big stops, allowing the Tigers offense to get the ball whenever they've really needed it. 21-14 is our score, 12 minutes on the clock. I'm Jordan Wood, joined by Kyle Cumberland, Josh Walker running the graphics and camera for us here from Preston Field, the home of the Park Hill South Panthers.
We're talking about halftime adjustments that we believe both teams have to make, and for the Panthers, I would say it needs to be the more penalties they make, the more trouble they get themselves into. We saw what would have been a for sure touchdown taken away off the board because quarterback Matt Schuenig stepped over the line. I mean, if that doesn't happen, the score is now 28-14 most likely. And for the Tigers, the change we saw that they needed to make was that their defense just needs to get one stop. We've seen Felix Anudike and the difference he's been able to make tonight. And if all they get is one stop, I mean, you saw how the offense almost went 60 yards in 24 seconds to get a touchdown. This offense is not going to slow down. One stop would give the offense just a chance, just a foothold that they need to get the victory in this matchup. It's going to be easy for the offense to then get the touchdown, get the lead, and maintain that going through the rest of the half.
The Tigers will receive the ball here to start the third quarter. They nearly put some more points up on the board, ending the second. They were unable to in the end on a pass that fell out over the end zone, and time expired for Lee Summit. But we'll once again see Fairhaven on, ready to kick it off. Back to receive for Lee Summit would be Landon Willis and Nate Morse, considering that it doesn't go out of bounds or back into the end zone. Fairhaven ready to kick and gets it up in the air. It's at the direction of Morse, but it's going to fall back into the end zone, so an automatic touchdown, and the Tigers will start their drive on the 20. Darius Pearsall, as we mentioned before, solid game so far. He's got a touchdown over the air and running, able to dive over the defense from Park Hill South, putting a touchdown up using his legs. And then a couple of big runs also from him, as well as a couple of huge passing plays. Big-time yardage has been the name of the game for the Tigers, not really doing as effective of a job whenever just doing chip work. Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Micah Manning, the speedster for the Tigers. Pearsall in the backfield, ready for the snap. And he gets it, looking to pass quickly. First man's not open, finds Morse on the other side. Morse is slippery and gets away from the first guy. The ball fell out, but the play is waved dead. So the Tigers get a gain of about 6 on the play.
Nate was able to slip out of the hands of number 29 there, Dylan Owens, the senior defensive back for the Panthers. Allows him just to get the extra yards, and it's that type of being a small that kind of helps you in that aspect of being able to get away from tackles bigger guys could not.
Pearsall ready to pass once again. Fakes a handoff, finds a man over to the right-hand side. Breaking free, the Tigers with big yards down the right-hand side of the field. It's senior Ryan Belt. Gets the ball all the way to the 44. We mentioned big plays for the Tigers. There's one more of them. Some more huge yards for this offense.
Ryan Belt made a great catch, ready to climb the ladder in that last drive for the Tigers that didn't really result in any points, but he's clearly showing and making a statement that he is here and here to stay for tonight.
Pearsall looking to pass again. Finds Morse on the screen pass out to the left-hand side. Flag is down. Morse hangs on to it. And after about a 5-yard gain, shouts of holding from the Park Hill South bench. Jacob Moracek has done a great job blocking those screen passes to this point, but he may have made his first mistake there. It will indeed be called holding on the Tigers. So they'll have to back up a little further from where they started at the 44, all the way back now to the 49-yard line.
With the explosive plays of this offense, I don't really think it matters that they're now 20 yards or 10 yards back from getting the first down, as the Tigers usually know how to make the big plays and make them fairly well to stretch the field.
However, we do oftentimes see those plays coming over the air. So whenever the run game is pretty much taken out of it because of the holding penalty, the defense can focus in on one aspect of the game, and we'll see if the Panthers are able to do that here. Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Manning once more. Several receiver options to his right and to his left. Pearsall looks to pass over the right-hand side. It's a screen pass to Nate. Nate Morse is brought down, and a fumble again. Morse has had trouble hanging on to it. The other times it's been called dead and not a fumble. This time he doesn't get away with it. So the Tigers have fumbled it, and the Panthers will take over. So it didn't matter that the Tigers got the ball to start the second half. The Panthers now back on offense from the 48-yard line.
Panthers offense has been dominant so far. As we've mentioned earlier, their wide receiver trio almost seems unstoppable, but their run game also, it's like they pass it and then they'll pick up 7 on the ground for you. It's very hard for the defense to adjust when the offense is making those kind of switches.
Matt Suchanek has played a great game to this point. Joined in the backfield by LaRon Mitchell. The fumble on the snap. And Michael Garozzo is there in the backfield to force them back even further than that holding call did on the last possession for the Tigers. So Suchanek and the Panthers backed all the way up now to the 38.
Be looking at Nate Sharp as he's being covered by Jackson Fry. He's their guy that usually likes to extend the field down long. Might be a long pass play to him.
Sharp, number 3 at the bottom of your screen. The pass goes over the middle and is caught. So Panthers will pick up about 10, but because of the fumble on the snap of the last play, there is no first down. So the play will be called dead at the 46. The Panthers will have to retry things still, 3rd and long. Suchanek in the backfield, still joined by Mitchell. Some orders coming over from the sideline. Park Hill South in the purple uniforms. Offense has looked dominant to this point. We'll see if they're able to keep up that form. Snap is high to Suchanek. He holds on to it this time. The pass goes over to the right-hand side. Thomas Smith gets beat, and it's Eric Avery able to pick up the first for the Panthers.
I mentioned to be looking for Nate Sharp, but then it's Eric Avery on the other side. When you have those many weapons for the Panthers, just like I did, it's easy to fall subject to be just focusing in on one, but you got to remember they have them all over the field, and right there, it's a great pickup for the first down by the Panthers.
2 high-power offenses going at it in this one. So far, the Panthers have gotten the best of the Tigers. We'll see if they continue to do so. A screen pass comes over to the left-hand side. It's caught, and space is created for Gage Warren. Great blocks have led to another gain and first down for the Panthers. So Gage Warren in his junior year here making an impact here for the Panthers. Another first down picked up for him. Suchanek in the backfield, joined by Darius Fields. Several running back options for the Panthers. Fields is just one of them. The snap, fake pass, and Suchanek is brought down in the backfield. That's LaRon Miller, the junior, getting back there and causing problems for Suchanek. So now the second big loss of the drive, but they were able to bounce back from it last time. We'll see how they react here.
Panthers pocket just collapsed there with Felix Anudike, Trey Wheat, and LaRon Miller just all being all over the quarterback. Matt Schuenek on that one wasn't able to get it off in time or make anything out of it as they collapsed from all sides. So, I mean, we saw them last drive start with negative field yards and second down. We'll see if they can make it up like they did last time.
Suchanek in the backfield, the lone man, looking to pass, finds a man over the right-hand side. It's Sharp. So a pickup there for the Panthers, but a flag is thrown after the play. Suchanek has done a great job of finding the open man in this one. And he does it again there with Nathan Sharp. A little bit easier when you've got so many great options at the wide receiver position, as well as several great running backs to choose from as well, able to mix up their play calling and mix up their targets on those plays. So the penalty will be called on the Tigers. The Panthers, after picking up the gain there, able to move forward even further. The ball will be just a yard short of the original line of scrimmage starting this drive rather. No, I'm sorry, that's my mistake. The ball will be moved inside the red zone all the way up to the 14-yard line. So it's a first down here for the Panthers. 9:58 left in the third quarter. Ball on the 14-yard line. Referees with a little conversation at the line of scrimmage. Now Suchanek and Darius Fields able to start things up again in the backfield. They act like they're going to snap it there. They get some more instruction from their sideline. Suchanek walks back up, ready to receive the snap. 9:40 left on the clock. Play clock running down to 5. They've got to hurry up. They do. Suchanek gets the snap, throws it over to the end zone. It's sharp, and the flag is thrown in the end zone. So Sharp, who's had a great game, picking up some big plays, picks up the penalty there. It's Jackson Fry on the pass interference.
Jackson Fry, his first interception of the season last week against Blue Springs. Maybe got a hold of the jersey of number 3 there in Sharp. It's going to put him closer to the end zone. We'll see if they're going to pick it up passing. Haven't rushed at all this drive. We'll see if they do it that way.
Suchanek joined in the backfield by Fields. 3 receivers and a tight end on the field for the Panthers. Suchanek awaiting the play call, the snap here. Referee's whistle to get the play clock started. 9:30 left on the clock. Now the referee's whistle again. Seen a lot more interference from the players in the black and white uniforms here in the second half than we did in the first. A flag is thrown immediately. And it'll be called a false start on the Panthers.
You know, at the half, I was talking about how the Panthers' penalties were killing them, and they've had 2 big ones on this drive alone, but they've been able to recover from them. It doesn't really seem to be affecting them at all. Whether they move 10 yards back, 5 yards, or 15, they're still being able to pick up the first down and keep the drive alive.
Snap goes to Suchanek. Throws it over to the right-hand side. It's going to be picked off by Thomas Smith. He's got a broken hand, but it doesn't matter. He's running down the right side of the field at the 50. Breaks the tackle from Suchanek. He's still going into the 10, the 5, and a touchdown for the Tigers. Thomas Smith turns the tide for Lee Summit in his junior year, his 2nd interception, and this one is returned for big yards. There's a flag down at the 15. So now the question on everyone's minds, what is the penalty? If you're the Tigers, of course, you're hoping it's not against you because they have just tied this ball game up potentially if the PAT is good. It's called a false start on the offense. Of course, the penalty declined, and the Tigers have 6 more up on the board. So it'll be Troy Huffman coming out, ready to kick the PAT. .9:14 on the clock. Ryan Belt, the holder for the Tigers. Huffman lines it up, steps back, lets him know that he's ready. The snap, the kick is up, and it splits the upright, so the Tigers have tied it. Thomas Smith, a broken hand and a pick 6 for about 90 yards. What a play for Thomas Smith, able to tie this Tigers team up with the Panthers. We were talking about the high-power offenses and the defense now with a gym of their own. Lee Summit has knotted this one up. We saw a lot of points put up on the board in the second quarter. 5 touchdowns between the 2 teams, and now our first score here of the third.
I was talking about at halftime how the Tigers just needed 1 turnover and that it would allow the offense to just take this game away. We'll see if that's true as they take the field. Almost had the first down on the last drive and almost got the points for it, but unfortunately they didn't. They're going to need to be looking to capitalize. Defense back out on the field. It's an unfortunate thing about a pick 6 is even though the defense was just on the field, they're going to be on the field again. They might be getting tired, but Panthers offense still showing no signs of slowing down even after that pick.
It was a great juke move by Thomas Smith to get away from the quarterback, Matt Suchanek, who made a mistake there throwing it to his man before he was ready. The intended receiver there was Gage Warren, who's one of the men back ready to receive the kick. The kick goes over to the right-hand side, and it's back into the end zone, and it's a touchback, so the Panthers will start their drive on the 20. Lee Summit has exploded since the second quarter. I guess both teams really have, putting up 21 points aside, a combined 42 since about 11 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10, ball on the 20. Suchanek in the backfield. The running back there with him, Joe Nzinga. Snap goes to Suchanek's. Hand goes up the middle, and it's Nzinga, brought down after about 6.5 yards.
Clearly the coach not happy with that interception. Now choosing the ground game to maybe get it rolling for the Panthers here. We know they have a good rushing game.
Trying to build the confidence back up there after the mistake from Suchanek. He's going to throw again. Pass completed out to the left-hand side of the field, and brought down is the tight end, Brock Ivy. In his senior year, he's had a solid game, catching the ball when it's thrown to him. Still Suchanek and Nzinga in the backfield. Tigers defense can't settle here after that pick six by Thomas Smith. Pass goes over to the right-hand side, and a big hit from Brock Ivy allows the screen pass to work to perfection. Trying to be dragged down and still going, and inside the 5, finally tackled. Gage Warren, the target there of the screen pass, and it works to perfection. That's what the interception was on the last one, was a pass over to that side of the field, and the gap was shot perfectly by Thomas Smith. And there when the Tigers tried to do it again, Brock Ivy was there with a big block to cut it out. So Suchanek still joined in the backfield by Nzinga. Snap comes in, handoff goes to Nzinga, and the Panthers have reclaimed the lead. 27-21.
You can clearly see they're relying on the pass offense a lot within that first drive, now giving it more to the ground game, being able to pick up the touchdown there, but it wouldn't have been possible if not for a great screen pass by the quarterback, which set up nicely for that rush in the end zone.
On now, ready for another PAT attempt, Michael Verhaven. Both teams have been perfect on the point afters. Snap comes in, and this one is about a mile high up into the air, and it splits the uprights, giving the Panthers a 7-point lead. 8:30 left here in the third quarter. Panther roars going out through over the PA system here at Preston Field. Tigers down 7 points. The offense hasn't struggled in this one at all, but they haven't gotten the ball much here in this second half. The defense has been the ones to put points up on the board. Thomas Smith, the junior, with a broken hand, able to get a 95-yard pick six a couple of possessions ago. So we'll see the Tigers offense try their hand at it here. Nate Morse and Landon Willis in the backfield ready to return the kick. Michael Verhaven, as we mentioned before, 4 for 4 on his PATs. And he's had a couple of beauties kicking the ball off to the other side as well. This is an electric stadium here. A lot of students in attendance from Park Hill South. Not so many from the Lee Summit side of things. However, both teams still making their presence felt. And Verhaven's ball that he placed down there falls off of the tee, so we'll have to reset it. And back up. A little awkward there. They cut the music off in the stadium, and now he's back ready to kick again. Verhaven steps up. The ball is up into the air. It's a little bit of a squib, kind of knuckling around, and it's picked up by Nate Morse. Morse running out to the middle of the field, now to the right-hand side. He's got big yards and all the way up to the 28. Good return there by Nate Morse, snaking his way up through the defense.
You know, we've already had 2 touchdowns within this half, but oddly enough, only 4 minutes have ticked off the timer with 8:23 left. Tigers offense takes the field for the second time tonight with quarterback Darius Pearsall. It'll be interesting to see if they keep relying on the passing game or if they go and switch it up to the running game, which hasn't been as successful tonight.
Tigers setting up shop here at the 28 of their own side of the field. Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Micah Manning. Handoff goes to Manning, up over the right-hand side of the field. He's got some space, breaking some tackles, and now running. He's got space of his own. It's going to be a big game from the Tigers. A great juke move. He breaks free, and on one play, Lee Summit has evened it up. 28-27. If they're able to knock in the PAT, they will have tied it up once more. Micah Manning. Hello. What a run, breaking from one side of the field. A juke move there to get past the safety, Andrew Horton, and he was free from there. No penalty flags are going to stop this one, and the Tigers have their 4th touchdown of the ball game.
I'd be hard-pressed to find another athlete who can make that run. I mean, running so fast and then would have gotten knocked out around the 30, but makes the move on number 20, Andrew Horton, for the end zone. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Micah Manning's one of the fastest in the state for a reason. He turns on the burners there for the touchdown. You can tell the Tigers offense has no signs of slowing up. They're going to play the game they want to play, which is passing.
So the Tigers PAT unit on again. How about that? What a game we've seen since the start of the second quarter. If you're just joining us, I'm Jordan Wood, Kyle Cumberland doing the color commentary for me, Josh Walker on the camera and graphics. Lee Summit offense hasn't had a whole lot of opportunity here in the third quarter. It was Thomas Smith putting up their 7 points prior to that drive. The kick from Troy Huffman, good, splits the uprights there, tying this one up at 28-28. And the Tigers offense, we were wondering if they'd maybe skip a beat because they had that long break in between possessions, but they absolutely do not. Micah Manning with a massive run, able to knock this one up for the Tigers. So we've seen a hungry Tigers team, only one win on the season, but you wouldn't guess it by the way that they fought back in this one, evening up the score. They played from behind or knotted up the entire time, down 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, clawing their way back, tying things up, then going down a touchdown, again tying things up on the Thomas Smith interception, and then Micah Manning putting us even once again, 28-28 here in the third quarter. 8:11 on the clock. Troy Huffman on, ready to kick. Walks back to about the 31-yard line rather, ready to boot it off to the other side. The kick is up. It'll be returned by Eric Avery. They're going to say he wasn't in the end zone. He tries to hurdle over the wall there. He does it pretty successfully, getting the ball up to the 24. Eric Avery with some bunnies there, getting over the big wall in front of him, but ultimately brought down.
Very true, Jordan. He almost had that hurdle over all the defenders. Would have been so impressive, but I think the story for the night is going to be the defenses. So far, we've seen a pick 6 from the Tigers. They're going to need a couple other stops, maybe even a couple other turnovers. Nate Morris fumbled the ball for the offense, which allowed the Panthers to get the score. So far, the defenses need to step up, make a play, and it'll be the tide that will be turned to see which one will win the game.
Joey Nzinga, the running back in the backfield, joined by Matt. The throw incomplete there. So Suchanek hit his target, but it bounces off of the left shoulder pad there of Brock Ivy. 2nd and 10 now for the Panthers from the 20.
Brock Ivy has been fantastic tonight. He's not one of the main 3 guys you see catching the balls a lot like Avery or Warren or Sharp, but he is one that you can't underestimate. I mean, if you leave him alone, he's definitely going to make that. It's a rare drop by him out there. Matt now with the ball, going to complete it to number 3.
The receiver there, Nathan Sharp, able to complete the pass. Gets the ball up to the 31-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and about 4 here for the Panthers. Suchanek still in the backfield, joined by Nzinga. 3 receivers and a tight end for the Panthers. Suchanek checks his wrist there. Snap comes in. He looks to pass quickly out to his left-hand side. Targeted there is Gage Warren, but it's overthrown and falls incomplete. So it'll be 4th down, and now the Tigers maybe with a chance here to get themselves their first lead of the night.
Great effort by the Tigers defense. I mean, we don't really see the Panthers or the Tigers, and we don't think of them getting quick 3 and outs, but it's going to be the score. 7:16 remaining left in the third quarter. Crazy to think only 5 minutes has ticked off so far, but that's what happens when you have quick offenses, just getting some points right up on the board.
So depending on the return here for Willis, we could see some great field position for the Tigers. They're just going to let it bounce. It'll roll all the way up to the 38 of Lee Summit. So the offense will once again get things kicked off, and we'll see if they can give themselves their first lead of the night.
Definitely, Jordan. It seems like the Tigers are keeping to play the offense that they want. I was speculating that maybe Jacob Moracek lined up to the right for the Tigers.
Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Micah Manning. Fakes a handoff and throws quickly over to Ryan Belt. A little screen pass there set up and completed. About a 6-yard gain there for the senior Ryan Belt. He's had a good game tonight for Lee Summit. A couple of big plays, and now we've seen him for the first time just get a couple of chip yards for the Tigers.
That exact play is one that scored Ryan Belt a touchdown. Unfortunately, the linebackers for the Panthers must have watched that during film because they closed the inside gap for Ryan. Still picked up some good yards, though, to keep the chains and keep the game moving.
Fake handoff again, and the pass goes quickly over to Belt on that same side. It'll be a first down for Belt, and the play will be continued on until about the 45. So the Tigers are able to keep the momentum going, get the first down, and move the ball to the other side of the field. Tigers offense hasn't had any real hiccups other than just a couple of 3 and outs, but we haven't really seen, other than one fumble, we haven't seen a whole lot of error from this offense.
Ryan Belt looks to be down on the field. Even the Panthers take off their helmets. He gets up, walks off on his own accord. Helmet off, never what you want to see. Ryan's had a tough offseason, had a blood clot early in May of this year. He's battled back from that, battled back from a thigh injury his sophomore year. He's no stranger to adversity. He jogs off the field on the own accord, and even the Panthers sideline starts cheering him. He knows what he means for the Tigers offense. It's a shame to see him get taken out like that.
Pearsall and Jalen Johnson in the backfield. Landon Willis, Nate Morse, Micah Manning, a couple of the receivers for this Tigers team as they look here to try to give themselves the first lead of the ball game. Pearsall gives Johnson a little bit of instruction, now ready in the shotgun. Nate Morse in motion. It'll be a jet sweep to Morse. Morse running on the left-hand side, dives over the defense there, but is brought down after about 3 yards.
Jalen Johnson didn't really get his name called much this season, but during the Belton game when they put in their JV squad, he's in there a lot and made an immediate impact. No surprise to see him getting varsity minutes here.
We're also seeing Amari Kemp out there, normally a part of the junior varsity wide receiver core, but out there for the varsity squad tonight. In the backfield, it's Pearsall and Manning. The snap, fake handoff up the middle. Landon Shepard, the target. He's been reliable for the Tigers all season. He's got a first down and brings the ball inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line.
Landon Shepard was a guy coming into the season that not a whole lot of people knew his name, but he's made himself quickly known. Had a big game in the first game against Liberty High School. Fortunately dropped the game there, 17-20, but clearly Tigers still using him in their offense so far.
Pearsall in the backfield. Handoff up the middle, it's Micah Manning. So he gets the ball inside the 25 to about the 24. Second down and 6 for Lee Summit. Just under 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. I'm Jordan Wood, joined by Kyle Cumberland in the booth. This Tigers offense now looking dangerous, marching up the field without a whole lot of adversity or a whole lot of resistance here from this Panthers team. Ryan Belt back out on the field, blocking now on the screen pass to Micah Manning, breaking it up the middle and getting inside the 10-yard line to about the 7. So the Tigers now really looking like a threat to score as they bring the ball inside the 10.
For most receivers, that would have been maybe an 8-9 yard gain, but not for Micah Manning. He's shedding those tackles like they're nothing to him, getting inside the 10-yard line to set up 1st and goal for the Tigers. Red zone offense has been on fire this season. We'll see if they can execute here.
Pearsall walks back from his line now, ready for the snap. Rolls out to his right, looking to pass again. The pass goes a little too high. Landon Shepard there was the target. It falls incomplete. Luckily for the Tigers, nobody in the area there to pick it off for the Panthers.
Tigers offense, that play didn't work out. The rollout to the right, the pressure was just too much on Pearsall. Ryan Belt back out on the field. Always good to see someone, especially a senior like himself, make such an impact on this team, come back out. He's going to be lined up to the left side of your screen there.
Pearsall in the backfield, joined by Manning. 3 receivers out to the right and Ryan Belt out to the left. Tigers still on the 7. The snap, Pearsall throws it high to Ryan Belt. A little bit of touching there inside the end zone. Belt turns around, looks at the ref. No flag thrown, so the ball will be called dead. So it's 3rd down and 7. 7 yards to go as it's 3rd and goal here.
Ryan Owens might have gotten away with a little bit of shoving action on that one. Didn't really need to, though, because Pearsall's pass was a tad overthrown. Ryan still looks for the pass interference call. Doesn't get it, though. And it'll be 3rd and goal for the Tigers.
Pearsall and Manning still the 2 in the backfield. The same receiver core for the Tigers. Pearsall comes up, gives some instruction to his line. Gets the snap, looks to throw again. A lot of pressure for Pearsall. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got space if he wants to take it himself. He throws to the end zone, and it goes just over the run of Landon Shepard there. If Pearsall had taken it to himself, he had a little daylight there maybe to sneak in there, but he, in the end, decides to throw the ball into the end zone, and it falls incomplete to Landon Shepard. So we'll see the field goal unit come out for the first time tonight. Troy Huffman has been perfect on PATs. This one's a little further and not as dead on as those PAT attempts. So Huffman lines it up. Ryan Belt, the holder for the Tigers. The snap, the kick is up, and it splits the uprights. So the Tigers have their first lead of the night, and it's 31-28.
Tigers might have learned from their mistake against the Blue Springs game, opting not to go for the field goal, instead risking it with the touchdown. Didn't pan out. Taking the safe, easy points here to get the score to 31-28. Definitely putting the pressure on the Panthers because they have not been down at all so far this game. Definitely going to have to produce on offense. As we saw last time, a quick 3 and out, unlikely for the Panthers offense, but the Tigers defense has been stepping up to the plate so far with LaJuan Miller, people like Michael Garozzo, and even the safety Landon Willis, Jackson Fry on the outside. Coach DK, this whole unit been stepping up, and hopefully if they continue to do so, the offense, as you see, is just going to march down the field repeatedly.
Troy Huffman there on the field goal. It's been an up and down year for him with the leg, and a good job there to finish it off. He's done well tonight. And what you don't often see a lot of praise from is for the guy that holds the ball. That's tough to get that snap, get it laces out, and get it down on the ground quickly. Ryan Belt's done a good job of that tonight, not allowing himself to be blamed if there ever were to be a miss. Huffman now ready and booms it downfield. This one will go back into the end zone, so an automatic touchdown, or touchback rather. I wish it were a touchdown. That'd be an interesting rule. You have to maybe back it up a little further. The Tigers will try again on the 20-yard line.
We're still in the 3rd quarter here. It seems as though this might have been an entire half in some games, but 4:15 still left within the 3rd quarter here. Tigers looking to take the field defensively as we see Matt Schuenig, this offense who has seemed unstoppable so far. Maybe that's changing, though, as the run game and the passing game might be falling apart for the Panthers.
In the backfield is Suchanik. LaRon Mitchell, the man with him. The handoff goes to him. He runs out to the right-hand side. He's got space, but hit hard and forced out of bounds there. In on the hit for the Tigers, Alexander Barnett. done a good job defensively in that Tigers secondary this year. So after the 6-yard gain, the Panthers will march up to the 26 and try again here on 2nd and 4. Handoff, no, fake handoff. Pass goes over to the left-hand side. It's Brock Ivy. He's got space to run. Landon Willis gets there and brings him down at about the 40-yard line.
Brock Ivy has been stupendous for the Panthers so far. Been able to just get those easy first downs, picking up, moving the chains. We haven't really seen those big guys like Avery, Sharp, and Warren so far in the second half, but Brock Ivy is a constant.
The snap, the throw goes over to the right-hand side. It was Warren there targeted, but the referees will blow their whistles here. And it's a false start. So after the first down there, the Panthers will have to back up a little further. And you may as well just take away that first down. 1st and 15. A long ways to go if you're a Park Hill South member of that offense. Several receivers out wide. They've got to get the ball to the 50-yard line. The snap, the throw goes over the middle to Ivy. He drops it in a diving interception. No, they call it dead. Trent Fell looked like he got there in time, but the referees say it dropped on the ground. Fell cannot believe it, and neither can anyone on that Tiger sideline. A great effort there by Trent Fell to read that it was coming out of Ivy's hands. And now another penalty and holding. So, not necessarily only negatives there as Fell's unable to hold on. The Panthers will be dragged back even further now inside the 25-yard line.
It's one of those things where if you had instant replay in high school, you'd really want to go see that one as up in the booth. It looked as though Fell had it. The referees obviously had the better POV down on the field. Still, I'd like to see the replay on that one.
The Panthers all the way back to their own 17-yard line. They've got to get it to the 50. Still remarkably first down and forever. The snap, Suchanek no doubtedly passing here. He's got a man over the middle. It's Gage Warren. He's got space, but he's unable to get there. Just overthrown. Boy, that looked scary from a Tigers perspective for sure.
Shuanik must have felt the pressure as Felix Anyudike came and hit him hard after the play. Barely got the ball off in time. Just tad overthrew his wide receiver in Warren there. If he would have had that surefire touchdown, but the pressure that the Tigers are putting on the offense so far, I mean, it's 2nd and I don't know how many they're so backed up. 2nd and 33 maybe? It's going to be hard for the Panthers to come back from this one.
It's going to be hard for us to do the math up here in the booth to figure that one out. A great job so far by the referees to pull them back all the way inside the 20-yard line. Suchanek backs up, ready to pass here. It falls incomplete, and it's picked off by the Tigers. Running it inside the end zone to give them an even bigger lead. Trey Wheat on the read sees it bobbled and runs into the end zone, putting the Tigers up now by 9 points.
Well, we came into the half, and we knew that the defense who would show up would eventually be the victors of the match. And Leeson High School is pulling away now. Trey Wheat, when you're a big guy like that, you don't get your hands on the ball that often, and when you do, you're going to make the most of it with the touchdown there. The point extra attempt unit comes on, looking to make the score. 10 points ahead.
Boy, Wheat looked like he was running about 90 miles an hour there, just doing it in slow motion. The big guy gets his hands on the ball and doesn't mess it up, getting inside the end zone there. Huffman on for the PAT has been perfect tonight. And in PATs and field goals, he's tallied up a lot of points for this Tigers team. Once again, he puts points up on the board for him. 38-28 our score, as we've got 3:17 remaining in the third quarter. Trey Wheat with the interception and the touchdown, his first one of the year. And a great job by that Tigers defense, backing him all the way up inside the 20 due to penalties and not letting them breathe. Pushing him back there on the screen pass, getting the interception on the bobble. And Trey Wheat runs it in for another touchdown.
Jordan, you mentioned at halftime that the penalties are kind of costing both teams. It appears that the Tigers have been able to nip those in the bud. Clearly, the Panthers need to take some notes because with a 2nd and 34, I don't even know what the coach play calls there. I mean, that's so backed up. Clearly didn't do the right one. That's the second interception of the night on Schuenig. Tigers have been able to limit those turnovers with only having one, with Nate Morris in the fumble early on in the first half. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a factor here as the Tigers have taken the 10-point lead.
So the Tigers with their 24th point of the half. 3:17 left in the third quarter. Huffman boots it downfield. It'll be caught by Eric Avery, but way back in the end zone, so no need to even catch that one. The play will start at the 20 for the Panthers.
And this is tough on your offense to just go straight back onto the field. No time to rest, no time to relax, just back into the action. Hopefully quarterback Matt Schumacher, he's going to have to get his interceptions under control, throwing 2 on the night. We'll see if they stick to the ground game more, as we know that that is a successful part of their offense.
Once again, the Panthers will set up shop. They started at the 20 last time, got all the way up to the 40, and then found themselves back at the 16-yard line. They'll try a screen pass again. It's Gage Warren on the catch, and he'll only get about a yard on the play. Penalties in that last drive killed them, but it seemed like the interception from Trey Wheat was the shovel to bury him into that hole even deeper. And the Tigers have found themselves with a 10-point lead. Suchanek joined in the backfield by Darius Fields. Fake handoff, the pass goes over to Brock Ivy, and it slips right through his hands. He saw the corner running in there. That was Landon Willis forcing maybe the overcrowded mind, and too much on his mind as it slips through his hand.
Park Hill Panthers, their loud crowd's getting hyped right now, but Brock Ivy had no drops coming into the half, now has 3. He's going to want to nip that in the bud as they look to move forward and try and make the chains move.
Suchanek backs up again, ready to pass, and they're going to throw a flag down. Undoubtedly pass interference there on probably the Tigers. So it looked like just not getting good enough position there. It will indeed be called pass interference. So the Panthers will get a little help from the men in the black and white after they were hurt by it a lot last time. It'll be a first down for Park Hill South, and a lot to tack on in the extra department. All the way up to the 37-yard line is Park Hill South. The offense looks to move the chains again. 1st and 10. Suchanek still in the backfield, joined by Darius Fields. Several receiver options here for the Panthers. The snap. The handoff goes to Fields up the middle. Now moving over to the left-hand side, is brought down quickly on the line. So the Tigers able to make the tackle there on the run. About a 6-yard gain there. The Panthers will try it again. Another rush with Fields, but he's brought down quicker this time after only about a gain of 3.
It appears they're going to be using the rushing game a lot more. He's brought down quickly there by number 80 for the Tigers, Avion Wallace, just a sophomore, but getting some varsity minutes.
Handoff goes to a different running back this time. It's Joe Nzinga. He's been very consistent tonight for the Panthers, and he'll move the chains once again, getting the ball across the 50. The Panthers doing a very similar style offense to Lee Summit here, running that sort of no-huddle, quick, we don't want you to have time to think sort of strategy. And they're doing it well here, moving the chains once again. Suchanek drops back, ready to pass. Nzinga blocking for him. Suchanek has to take it himself. He's going to feel pressure and throw it. Question is, did he stay in bounds? He did.
Kaya Tapino applied that pressure. Was still able to find Nathan Sharp, number 3 on the outside. Unfortunately, momentum took him to the out of bounds. If not, he might have been able to turn that upfield for some 10, maybe even 15 more yards.
Handoff up the middle is Nzinga. He's going to have some big yards here, a gain of about 7. So now we've talked about earlier how they're able to do it anywhere on the field, and they're mixing the play calls up well now. Nzinga picking up more yards. Quick handoff, that hurry up. A flag is thrown in the backfield. And it will be called a false start by the Panthers. We've seen that motion several times from the referee. if it was Dick Vitale in the booth, he'd no doubt be yelling, "He's doing the cha-cha, baby!" And once again, they're brought back. Now 2nd and 9 rather, for the Panthers. Suchanek in the shotgun. Nzinga in the backfield with him. 3 receivers and a tight end. The snap, no flags thrown this side. He looks to pass. Caught by Sharp on the right-hand side, and he got the first down. Nathan Sharp has been everywhere for this Park Hill South Panthers offense, and he does it again, moving the sticks once more on this drive. Anything they've wanted, they've got it. Throw goes over to the left-hand side. It's caught by Warren, and a great job to break away from the block there. Looked like Jackson Fry in on the tackle, slipping free of the blocker and bringing Warren down.
Jackson Fry just shedding the block there, tackling him. That's just some good movements by your corner. They're lined up on the left hash now. 2nd and 11 to go.
Suchanek in the backfield. Looking to pass once again. It's worked well on this drive. Sharp is the target. He is again gonna grab it. Brings it forward even further for the Panthers. And a little push off there from Fell. Clearly frustrated with himself, unable to get the tackle.
Definitely. Fell kind of bumping to the ground with some attitude. Definitely not happy with Sharp just being able to have his way so far this drive.
3rd down and 2. Suchanek drops back, ready to pass again. Targeting Sharp, and he gets 2 in. A touchdown. And the Tiger lead now is cut down to 4. It seems like you can throw to Sharp anytime. And despite the Tigers knowing if it's coming or not, they cannot stop him. What a game for senior Nathan Sharp.
Well, absolutely. It appears they stuck to the running game a little bit more. Took some time off the clock. 18 seconds left within the 3rd quarter, and we're able to cap it off with a touchdown. A perfect drive, especially coming off one that ended up in a turnover, a pick 6 for the Tigers.
Verhaven on, ready to kick the PAT again. He's been perfect tonight. He'll remain that way. The lead now is cut down to 3, but the Tigers offense has another shot at it. Only 18 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Kyle, what have you liked from this Tigers offense in this 3rd quarter?
Well, I think what's not to like about the Tigers offense, getting so many points within this 1st quarter. I mean, starting off with 17 and making it 38. What I love, though, is that field kick call, just getting the save points, making sure they had the lead, then able to extend it with the touchdown. There's just some great play going on with the Tigers right now. Hopefully they're going to be able to extend that. I mean, at the end of the 2nd half, or as the 2nd quarter expired, we saw them almost score a touchdown, 60 yards in 24 seconds. Who knows, they might get a touchdown with 18 seconds left to play right now. Only time will tell as the Panthers look to kick it off. Their kicks so far on both teams have been really good. Their kicker steps up, number 7 here, Mr. Verhaven. We'll see what he can do. His kicks so far tonight have mostly been taken back for touchbacks. Who knows, Nate Morris or Landon Willis could take it out and gets a couple yards.
Michael Verhaven ready to punt or kick it off once again. A game of offenses this one has been. 18 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Big points put up on the board for both teams. 73 combined. It'll be Nate Morris fielding it at about the 10. He's pretty quick. He's got a man ready to take him down, but he evades him. He's going to keep going. He gets the ball past the 20 and keeps on moving until he's picked up and thrown out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Nate Morris has been fantastic for the Tigers tonight. At the beginning of the game, I was worried his production had been dropping. He got targeted and caught 6 times, then 4, then only 3 against Blue Springs. Now tonight, definitely making an impact for the Tigers, putting away any worries that he was going away because he is here to stay, and he's proven that tonight.
Pearsall and Manning in the backfield. Pearsall drops back, faking a little screen pass, throws it over the middle, and it's dropped. Landon Shepard, the intended receiver there, thrown a little out of his reach, pounding on his chest, saying, "My bad" there. Frustrated with himself for the drop, and he'll be brought off the field. Jalen Johnson coming into the backfield for the Tigers. Micah Manning stepping out to that wide receiver position. Pearsall drops back, ready to pass again. He's got a man over the right-hand side. It's Nate Morse. He's going to get the first down, dancing, trying to get away from the defender. It'll dive down at the 37.
The Tigers have 2 wide receivers in the top 20 for the state of Missouri in receiving yards, 15th being Ryan Belt, but 6th being Nate Morris. He might be in the top 3 after tonight because he's been catching ball after ball consistently. And we're going to take a quick break to go to our sponsors.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
And we're back from Preston Field. What a game we're having on our hands here. 73 combined points between these two offenses. It's been an incredible firepower type game from both teams flexing their guns all night long. And it looks like whoever's defense will step up and stop the other's offense first will be the winner in this one. The Tigers have a 3-point advantage, 38-35 our score as we begin the fourth. Tigers will fake a little jet sweep and then fake a screen pass, end up running it up the middle there and getting about half a yard.
Tigers might be trying to burn the clock here as they do have the lead. The running game isn't non-existent. They do have one. They have good runners with Micah Manning being their main one and Cayet's Pino being their secondary. So we'll see if that's their game of attack for the fourth quarter.
Pearsall joined by Manning in the backfield. 3 receivers and a tight end. Fakes a handoff, goes to Ryan Bell over on the right-hand side. Turns around, faces the defense, breaks 2 tackles, and is finally brought down. His forward progress marks him down at about the 46-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 3 for Lee Summit.
Ryan Belt, he's a bit taller. Some would say might even lanky. But when you have to stiff arm a guy, then spin move, and it takes 3 people to get you down, it's definitely impressive. It shows that you're not an easy guy and can't be underestimated. They've been double teaming him most of the night. We'll see if they continue to do so in the fourth quarter.
Pearsall keeps himself here on the fake handoff, running out to the left-hand side. He's got pressure from the defense, and he's brought down by cornerback Andrew Horton. So that'll bring up 4th down for Lee Summit. Question now obviously being, will they punt? Pearsall stays on the field, and Thomas will bring him back. So a disappointed look. Pearsall thinking he might have been able to take that one all the way. He's unable to get the opportunity to do so. Cayet's Pino steps back, ready to punt it off for Lee Summit. Nathan Sharp back ready to receive for Park Hill South. As we said before, Lee Summit up 38-35. And a timeout is called. So we'll have a minute here to pause and kind of reflect on the chaos that we've been seeing here in the second quarter. Kyle, the way that it's going right now, what team do you think is going to win this ball game, especially with the Tigers now having to punt it off, and offense is really being what's winning the teams the ball games right now?
The punt is not helping the Tigers' case whatsoever. And to be honest, I wish I could say I have a definite answer for who's going to win. I do believe the Tigers might have the edge because they've been able to get some defensive pressure, force a couple, I believe 2 third and downs for the Panthers so far this game. Panthers haven't been able to do that at all for the Tigers, but we'll see if they can force the pressure here on their defense. Again, Felix and DK being back, so it helps. They're going to need to continue to do so if they expect to win the ball game.
Cayet's Pino back ready to kick it off. Nathan Sharp, the man returning for Park Hill South. What a game he's had at the wide receiver position. We'll see how he does here returning the punt. It's a high one from Topino, corkscrewing through the black sky here. And the Tigers will go ahead and pick it up at the 25, which is where the Panthers will start their offensive attack here.
Panthers are no strangers to stretching the length of the field. They've done so, especially on their last drive. Did it mainly with running. Might not be having the same trust they did early in the game with quarterback Matt Schuenock after throwing 2 interceptions. We'll see, though. The running game is dominant. They do have a lot of great players in that aspect, but one player that I think has stand out so far is Mr. Nathan Sharp, the wide receiver position. It doesn't matter who he's on the island with, he's always winning that matchup, and we'll see if he continues to do so and if he's targeted during this drive.
Suchanik in the backfield here. The handoff goes up the middle. The man with it, LaRon Mitchell, he'll be brought down pretty quickly by the Tigers defense.
Lawan Miller came in as the replacement earlier in the season for Felix Anudike, and now he's become a staple within the defense for the Tigers. He's been able to make a couple of sacks, tackles for loss within his time here, and showing that he's worthy of a starting job for the Tigers.
Suchanik still in the backfield with Mitchell. Panthers will try things again on 2nd and 7. The pass goes to the right-hand side of the field. Who else other than Sharp to be targeted here? It's complete, and they will say that he got the first down. Nope. Little discussion here. I think that they'll probably pull the chains out to this one. Still a little discussion happening. Not quite sure what they're going to, and they're going to call it a first down. So the ball now at the 35.
The crowd started chanting Sharpie after that play. Clearly Sharp has earned a crowd favorite for himself, maybe after this performance and the performances so far this season.
Senior Nathan Sharp with an incredible performance, putting on a show here tonight. The pass comes from Schuenig to Ivy. And luckily for Schuenig, there was no one in the area to be able to pick that one off because he overthrew Ivy by a good 5 or 6 feet.
Jackson Fry was ready to make that tackle. He noticed it wasn't going to be caught, and so he ducked out of it just in time, but he was about to make one, drill him into the ground. Unfortunately, Panthers are going to be backed up here again. Penalties have been their enemies so far this game. Both teams haven't done a great job, but Panthers definitely getting worse and worse as the game goes on. I don't know how long this is again, but wow, they are very backed up.
Well, and what did we see the last time that they were backed up this far? It was the big man, Trey Wheat, getting a pick 6. As we said, moving about 90 miles an hour. You wouldn't guess that he was a lineman. The handoff here goes up the middle to Mitchell. He's going to keep on making those legs churn. And on the first down and about 1.5 miles, he's going to cut it down a little bit shorter, so we're at about 2nd and 1.25 miles.
You know, you say that jokingly, but it almost looks like that on the field. I mean, this isn't stuff that you typically see out of the game. They're going to definitely be looking for a big play over the top here to pick up this first down.
2nd and way long. Schuenig in the backfield. The snap a little high. He keeps it coolly. And in the backfield, the Tigers defense brings him down at about the 20-yard line. So another loss. 3rd and 29. You hear me stutter there? I can't do math that fast. They're making me work up here. So the Tigers defense staying on top of it, not letting them breathe. 3rd and 29. The snap's a little high. Flag, no flag. Whistle's blown. Anudike was back there ready to stop the run. There is a flag thrown at the 21-yard line. We'll see what the call is here. And it's another penalty. So drag back even further is this Panthers offense. And with 7:52, 3rd down and forever. It's even further than the last time. As you said, I said it jokingly, but they're brought back now. And referee signaling to get the play clock going all the way inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. The snap, a handoff goes to Mitchell. Running it here is a bold move, and they'll get the ball to the 25-yard line.
Jordan, you said it was about 1st and 1.5 miles at the beginning of this drive. And for the play calls to all be runs, it kind of confuses me. I'm not sure why they would do that, especially when their passing game with Sharp has been so dominant. But nonetheless, they're going to bring out the punting squad, and the Tigers are probably going to have pretty great field position to start this next drive after punting it away on their last.
Maybe Alan Wilmie's looking to confuse the Tigers defense as he did us up in the booth to get a big breakaway run. The punt goes back to Landon Willis. He'll field it at the 35, stumbling back and getting away from the defense. A flag is thrown. It'll likely be a block in the back. Willis still running. He stayed on the field. Wow! a great job. A little spin move keeps himself in bounds. He's hit hard at the 50, and there's several players shaken up, and Willis is one of them, grabbing his leg.
Willis's feet was sticking out by his own teammate there. You'd hate to see Willis get injured, especially when his own teammate was the one who brought him down. That might have been the longest punt, though, on the season for number 7, Michael Verhoeven. As long as 43 yards for the Tigers. Kai Tapino, his average is 38, so you got a different class of punters, but offense looks to be huddling over by Coach Thomas, getting the play call as the referees decide what the penalty was. We're waiting that call.
2 flags down on the play. Again, the stadium at a hush. Players from both sides injured on that last punt return. 1 flag against the Tigers and another flag against the Tigers, both of them blocks in the back. I am the only voice alive in this stadium right now as we wait to see if these players are okay. 6:57. Not sure who the injured man is for Park Hill South. We know Lee Summit's is Landon Willis. He is a huge part of this team and a really good guy. Frustrating for the Tigers if he is kept out for a long time due to injury. Their punt return specialist, you saw there 2 block in the backs, but regardless, what he did there to stay in bounds and get up the field was remarkable for a high school student. He's going to try to stand up here. And he will walk off on his own power, so good for Willis. Cheers here from the Park Hill South side of things. And now we'll wait and see if the other man down is okay as well. Obviously not a good sign whenever you see people down for this long. Willis appears to be okay, able to walk off on his own power, but again, the stadium back to a hush. Again, on that play, we saw 2 block in the backs. So where Willis got it to at about the 50 will not matter. Not a soul standing in this stadium. Everyone down on a knee or sitting down in their seats, waiting to see if these guys are okay. Real quick here, we'll take a quick word from our sponsors while they tend to the injured player on the field.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News & World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
We're back here from Preston Field, and just now they're going to go ahead and pick the man that was injured up off of the turf here. The Tigers up 3 points. Just tried to return a punt there. 2 penalties on the play. The man injured for Park Hill South appears to be number 20, Andrew Horton. He's had a solid game so far at the cornerback positions, and he's walking off the field with a little bit of help. I'm not sure what sort of injury it was, if it was an arm, if it was something in his chest or his legs or whatever. But after being down on the ground for so long, it's great to see him walk off, at least even with help from other people.
Absolutely, Jordan. I mean, 2 pick sixes couldn't have silenced this Park Hill South loud crowd, but these 2 injuries certainly have. So far, though, kick return, you never want to see someone get injured, especially on a play as almost meaningless as a punt return, but 2 people go down, and we'll see how they can recover from that. Loud crowds on both sides, still in shock almost. They don't know what to say. Now trying to get riled up again is you have to go back to play. You have to play the game.
The ball marked at the 23-yard line after the 2 penalties for the Tigers. We'll keep an eye on Horton over there on the sideline after the injury. Still being tended to over there by the medical staff. Darius Pearsall and Micah Manning ready to set things up for the Tigers again. Pearsall having to evade pressure quickly. Throws the ball over to Ryan Belt, who's picked up and carried backwards. Are they going to say... They're going to say he got in bounds. And if they do indeed mark him in bounds, and they're going to bring him back. It was a great effort there, just picked up and piggyback ridden all the way back and out of bounds, unable to get the completion there for the Tigers.
That's unfortunate for the Tigers. Piggyback is the right word to use, as he was carried on him for at least 2 solid seconds. Refs now stop play. Darius awaiting the play call. Cheer squad for the Panthers trying to get the loud crowd back in it. For the Tigers, there are not many people to get back in the game, but for the ones they have, they're starting to warm up again.
Regardless of the injuries here, if you're the Tigers, you've got to be in attack mode after play is resumed here. You cannot lose that fire. We'll see if they're able to keep on going here and try to keep up this second half momentum that we've seen them carry here now into the 4th quarter. Screen pass goes over to Nate Morse. He's got some space on the 30-yard line, cuts it back, evades 2 tackles, breaking another, and finally being brought down from behind inside the Panthers' 50-yard line. He's marked down at the 48. What a run by Nate Morse there to evade early tackles and get big yards for the Tigers.
And evading early tackles he did is number 29, Dylan Owens, and Dominic Personelli had no response. He just kind of faked a jump move. Wasn't too impressive, but definitely did the job it was supposed to. Now they're in their own yard line.
Darius Pearsall again in the shotgun. Micah Manning in the backfield with him. Handoff goes to Manning. He's going to get about 7 yards there on the carry. And a good job there just pushing it up the gut, using the blocks from the big boys down in the trenches.
Absolutely. The Tigers' rush game is something that hasn't really gotten involved as much in this game, but certainly an aspect that you can't underestimate. I mean, last year in 2018, it seemed like the rush game was all they had against the Panthers, but now it seems to be quite the opposite.
Loaded weapons all over the field for the Tigers. Ryan Belt, Landon Shepard, Nate Morse among them. Nate Morse is the one who has his number called here, and more yards for Morse on this drive. Gets the ball inside the 30, now to the 28-yard line.
Nate Morse is definitely having a field day out there. It looks like he's just playing catch with Darius Pearsall. There's no defenders were around him because he's just running right past him, sliding right by, making moves where he can and where he needs to be made. He's having himself a good day today as Pearsall has been hitting him in the numbers a lot.
Pearsall back ready to pass again. Guess who? Nate Morse on the left-hand side, a little screen pass. He gets several yards. The ball pops out, but they wave the play dead. It wouldn't have mattered. It went out right about where he was down anyways. So Morse gets it down inside the 25 to the 22-yard line for the Tigers.
You know,
so the Tigers now on 2nd down. Zoning in on the red zone here, looking to score and increase their lead that they've gained here for the first time in the second half. Pearsall stepping back from his line, joined by Manning in the backfield. Several receivers for the Tigers. Ryan Belt, the lone man at the bottom of your screen. Handoff goes to Manning up the middle of the field. He breaks tackles, gets out to the right-hand side, and it looks like he is going to be marked past the first down marker. First down for the Tigers. He gets it inside the 20. The ball now at the 17 for Lee Summit.
Play clock now, 4:27, and it's ticking for the Tigers. Definitely want to see that long, drawn-out drive, couple passes, couple runs, and it's working to perfection for the Tigers.
Facing off against this Panthers offense, you still cannot get too excited that you have the lead at this point. I think they need a touchdown here to solidify it for sure, and then they need to do a good job of managing the clock. Eric Thomas, the longtime coach for the Tigers, has had situations like this before as Pearsall underthrows Nate Morse that time. We've seen Eric Thomas do such a great job late in games like this, and we'll see if he's able to do so again here as we're running down inside 4 minutes left on the clock. Ball marked at the 17, 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. And we'll see if the offense can bounce back there after the incompletion to Morse. Morse has picked up the majority of the yards for the Tigers here on this drive. In the backfield, it's Pearsall. Several receiver options here for Lee Summit. Fakes a hand-to-hand miscommunication. Pearsall is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. He was expecting Micah Manning to be there and I guess receive a fake handoff. Manning was nowhere near. He went to go block. So now the Tigers have been backed all the way up to the 24-yard line.
And inevitably, when you run a hurry-up offense like the Tigers do, those miscommunications are going to happen. You'd rather be in a situation where you're up points rather than down. Still, ideally, not at all. Again, Ryan Belt is going to be in on the play. They're going to be looking for a long pass, I would think, as they're now 3rd and what looks to be 16 yards away from getting that first down. But we saw them hit a field goal earlier. Maybe if they just get close enough, they trust their kicker, Troy Huffin, who has been spot on tonight, to put it through the uprights.
Mentioning kickers here, you can't, again, rely on that field goal to be your only source of energy as we push into these last couple of minutes. Clock now showing 3:03. On the other side of the field, Michael Verhoeven has been perfect in terms of PAT, 7 for 7 tonight. So if you see the Tigers take a 6-point lead, and then we see a Panthers touchdown, you see Verhaven come back out once again. Now a cart comes out. As we mentioned earlier, the injury, Andrew Horton was the man hurt on the punt return. Landon Willis also shaken up. He was able to walk off on his own power. Horton was still being tended to there on that sideline, and they brought the cart out over to him. So we might see an exit here for Horton as we've got 3:03 remaining in the second half. Pearsall joined in the backfield by Manning. Several receivers out there for the Tigers. Whistle's being blown to start the play clock here. The snap to Pearsall, looking to pass again. He throws it downfield to Ryan Belt, who's hit hard after the pass had already fallen incomplete. Looked like he was held onto a little bit there as he tried to get separation from the man covering him. No flag is thrown, and it's 4th down for the Tigers.
Offense looks like it's going to stay on because, it's too short a field position to punt. And again, you're not going to be able to make a field goal at the high school level from this guard position. So who knows? They could make it here on 4th. Definitely going to have to be tough, though, as the Park Hill South Panthers defense have looked stellar so far. This drive, again, 2:58 left in the 4th quarter as time winds down to the very end.
Landon Shepard, the tight end. Moracek, Morse, and Belt, the receivers. Manning in the backfield with Pearsall. Pearsall looks downfield, ready to pass. The line collapses. Pearsall heaves it into the end zone. And it's intercepted in the end zone by the Panthers. 2:49 on the clock and an interception for Park Hill South. If you want drama, you've got it. 3-point ball game and an interception with 2:50 left, and the Panthers will start it off on their own 20-yard line.
The motivation and the momentum an interception can give you is undeniable, but interesting to note they do have worse field position now that they did intercept the ball. Would have been 6 yards closer to the end zone. Not that it matters when you're Already 80 yards still out. Ball going to be spotted here. We'll see if the Panthers on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown, they decided to run the ball a lot more. We'll see if they continue to do that or if they're going to go passing.
38-35 our score. I'm Jordan Wood, joined by Kyle Cumberland in the booth, Josh Walker running the camera and the graphics for us, making sure you guys are up to date at home. The handoff goes up the middle. Joe Nzinga there on the carry. He's done a great job of giving the Panthers steady offense if they've needed it. And he's called on once again there, able to pick up 3. Once again in the backfield, Suchanek looking to pass. He's got Nzinga over on the left-hand side there. And Nzinga will bring it all the way up to 3rd and 1. So if the Tigers are able to get in the backfield here, maybe stop a play quickly, the Panthers no doubtedly have to go for it here as we're approaching 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And there's a player shaken up once again, this time for Lee Summit. We're unable to really see who that is from our point in the booth. And for the 4th time tonight, the stadium will fall to a hush, as now the man helped off the field is Kaya Tupino. And that's a big loss for the Tigers. Both their punter, a middle linebacker, and a running back for the team, or a backup quarterback if they need him, as well as a backup goalie for the Lee Summit varsity soccer team. This guy does it all, and it's tough to see him go down with injury. 2:22 on the clock. Suchanek in the backfield. Handoff goes up the middle, and a first down for the Panthers. I mentioned the consistency a moment ago from Nzinga tonight. He keeps it up here again, and another first down for Park Hill South.
See if they can keep the drive alive so far. A couple of the drives have been stalled out by penalties. None so far on this drive, and they're going to need a clean slate if they expect to see the end zone.
Suchanek in the backfield looking to pass once again. Pressure coming in for the Tigers. It's Felix Anudike, returning from injury tonight and showing up when it matters. A big sack in the backfield. The ball now at the 30-yard line. And it's 2nd and 28 for Lee Summit.
After the Staley game, Jordan, you and I were talking about would the score have even been close if Felix was in the game, and those are the plays he makes, and that's why he keeps the Tigers in ball games.
No question about it now. Felix Anudike back out on the field. The pass way downfield. The target is sharp, and it's going to fall incomplete. Anudike's impact, despite still having a brace on, he's out there playing a great game for the Tigers. An update on that former injury, it's Andrew Horton now being carted off the field. We're still not quite sure what the injury is. He's got something on his arm, and I saw them tending to his neck line of the Panthers. Suchanek, the quarterback, has been a steady hand for these Panthers to this point in the ball game. We'll see here if he's able to guide them to victory in this one. Still 2 timeouts remaining for both teams. We'll see how the clock ends up being managed here for both sides. Pass goes over the middle, and it's incomplete. Brock Ivy, the intended target. Lawan Miller was in the zone there, forcing Ivy with another drop. He was Mr. Consistency in the first half, and he struggled here in the second.
Mr. Consistency, you're right, didn't have a drop pass, now has 4 on the half alone. Looks like they're going to have to go for it. This is the play that's going to decide the game, and if they complete, they're staying alive, but if they're not, the Tigers look to be taking home a victory.
Let's not jinx it too quickly. They do have to go for it here on 4th, but the Tigers offense has to take the ball again. A holding flag there on Felix Anudike, grabbed around the neck. The pass falls incomplete regardless, so the Tigers will be reclaiming the ball. Anudike getting choked there is no doubtedly what the flag is, and he'll run off the field there in excitement. So likely we'll see the Tigers in victory formation with 1:25 on the clock when they reclaim the ball.
Absolutely. Felix Anudike. It was going to be a sack within the first 2 seconds of the snap, but as you saw there, his helmet was just getting pushed up his neck. Wasn't able to make the play, but because of that, got the penalty. It didn't matter. It was an incomplete pass anyway. So now the Tigers take over, undoubtedly in the huddle. This is an emotional game for the Tigers as they came off a loss to Blue Springs. It was a tough one to swallow now. Forced to play earlier Thursday night football instead of the regular Friday night football, but it doesn't matter to them. They've come out, they've game planned for this, and they're ready to seal the deal on what would be their second win of the season.
A late one tonight. The time is 9:48. The Tigers reclaiming the ball with 1:25 on the clock. Darius Pearsall, the quarterback, has been willing them to victory to this point. 3 men in the backfield. 4 rather. Nate Morris, Darius Pearsall, Micah Manning, and 1 extra. Flag down on the field, and it's going to be an illegal formation by the Tigers.
5-yard penalty, first and 15.
So 5-yard penalty, and it'll be 1st and 15. 1:25 on the clock. The Panthers still have 2 timeouts left. Don't write them off just yet. 1st and 15. The Tigers backed all the way up now to the 35-yard line. Pearsall joined in the backfield by Micah Manning. Marches up to his line, lets him know what the play is, and backs up. Throws a little screen pass over to the left-hand side. An over-the-shoulder catch by Nate Morris, gets it inside the 30-yard line and dives out of bounds. If you're the Tigers, you maybe want to see him stay inbounds there as the clock stops now at 1:18.
Definitely would have liked him to stay in bounds, but nonetheless, got some good yards there. Picked up 7 on the play. It's going to be probably 2nd and 8, maybe 2nd and 7. It's a little too hard to tell from up here. Park Hill Panthers loud crowd still getting loud, getting into it. They haven't given up hope yet as Pearsall takes the field again with Micah Manning, in the backfield.
Almost on cue, the Panthers student section turns up the volume and makes us have to raise our voices as well up in the booth. Still in the backfield, it's Pearsall and Manning. The handoff goes to Manning up the middle. He's got several yards. He's going to keep on going and try to get the first. It looks like he's going to be stopped just short. He gets the ball to the 21-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Tigers, and the clock is going to keep running, so a timeout by Park Hill South.
Jordan, tonight we've seen 2 dominant offensive performances, but when it mattered most, I think the defense for the Tigers stepped up. Felix Anyadike, you saw there last time getting a sack for a loss of 9 yards, which really hurt the Panthers as they tried to convert on that 3rd and 4th down on their final drive, or what might have been their final drive. Felix Anyadike, a big impact, but I would say the Tigers' defensive unit as a whole step up in the second half. The points might not reflect it. They stepped up when they needed it most, and it's allowed the offense to be able to play the game they want to play, which is passing the ball around and feeding all their weapons.
You do mention the defense there. It's been 2 great offenses, 1 interception from the Panthers and 2 pick sixes from the Tigers. A 95-yarder for Thomas Smith, doing a great job of evading players, and then Trey Wheat, the big boy on the defensive line, with an interception and a pick 6 as well. No one able to bring him down as he ran into the end zone for Lee Summit in the 3rd quarter. Pearsall now in the backfield once again, 3rd and less than 1. Handoff goes to Manning. The Panthers are all over it. Did he get the first? He tried to put the ball over the needed yards. Timeout called by the Panthers again to stop the clock at 59 seconds. They'll have a minute here to talk things over, and it's called 4th and inches for the Tigers.
I don't think you can get the ball much closer than that. It's got to be impossible to spot it for the referees. Probably going to have to run it here as the clock, oddly enough, is ticking, even though a timeout was just taken. Oh, it's the timeout clock. My bad. A little bit of a miscue from me there. But nonetheless, the Panthers are ready to take the field again, take on whatever the offensive strategy Coach Thomas has for the Tigers.
It's an easy mistake. It's one I made earlier. The clock is close enough to 1 minute that it's hard to confuse it there. So the ball marked at the 21. The Tigers need to get to about the 20, so it'll be 4th and less than 1. We'll see how the Tigers attempt to get this first down. As I said, you cannot write this Panthers team off yet. Out of timeouts, the handoff goes to Manning up the middle. He's got space and a touchdown. For sure, securing the win for Lee Summit. What a run. A great job by the offensive line to open up a huge hole, and Manning didn't miss it. No need to be super precise there. Finds the hole, runs through it, and uses that track star speed that we know he has to get the touchdown. And Lee Summit is up 9 once again. If Huffman's able to put the PAT in, Lee Summit will be up 10, and this one is likely over. 54 seconds left. The holder, Ryan Belt. The kick is up and through the uprights. We've talked a lot about the offenses and defense. How about the special teams? Troy Huffman has been perfect in PATs, as well as 1 for 1 in field goals. The score now 45-35. Huffman 6 PATs completed, as well as that field goal earlier. And Lee Summit now with a 10-point lead as we get under a minute. There's the classic "I believe that we just won" chant. The student section, although small in numbers for Lee Summit tonight, joins the cheerleaders in the victory chant there, stating that they have won the game.
Jordan, you mentioned Troy Huffman in that special team unit. Coming into the game, he was 4 for 10 on point extra attempts and a 6 for 6 tonight. It shows you he's been putting in the work, and it shows tonight. He's been phenomenal so far, even with the field goal he made. And both the kickers for these teams have been doing really good. We'll see what the offense for the Panthers has to cook up. They're going to need to get down quick.
It looks like the Panthers student section knows what's about to come. Their numbers have dwindled to about half what they were at kickoff in the first half. And kickoff here once again in the fourth quarter from Huffman. Caught the return here by Warren. He stays on his feet, gets the ball past the 20, and the Tigers meet him there and tackle him. He's marked down at the 28. 1st and 10, 46 seconds left. The Tigers up 10. Can they hang on? Here's the question. No need to call any timeouts or anything like that. They've got the lead. Once they get the clock running, they should be able to finish this one off.
Jordan, with the Panthers having 0 timeouts left, they're going to need to get down the field in like 2 or 3 plays, receive an onside kick, get down the field again. I'm not saying it's impossible. Crazier things have happened, but they're going to need nothing short of a miracle to make this comeback.
Absolutely right. No timeouts left. They're going to have to complete passes quickly and get over to the sideline. Shutnick backs up. Gonna try it here. Felix Anudike gets in the backfield, unable to bring him down, and he comes back and Superman dives to bring him down. Welcome back, Felix Anudike, another sack. If there's any colleges watching this at the moment, man, what a player Anudike is. High energy from the get-go, playing hurt tonight, but you wouldn't know it. The snap, another throw downfield. This one is completed to Sharp, but the clock keeps on running. 17 seconds left, and a first down for the Panthers.
You're absolutely right on Felix Anudike. Been dominant tonight. Almost had the sack there. Came back for it and got it. Very impressive for the defense.
Suchanek drops back, ready to pass once again. He's got men all over the field. It's Sharp, and uncharacteristically of him in this one, drops it. So the clock will stop at 12 seconds. Ball spotted at the 39-yard line. And the Panthers will have another attempt now at 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you're not going to see that out of Nate Sharp at all. Has 4 touchdowns this season, 128 yards, but Matt takes the snap here, throws it out again. Missed his man, overthrew him a little. It's number 9, Warren. And they're going to have 8 seconds left, and looks like defeat is inevitable for the Panthers.
The Tigers in a prevent defense here. No doubtedly passes coming from Park Hill South, but there's nothing else they can really do. They've got 8 seconds to go and 10 points to come back from. That math doesn't add up very well in football terms. Once again, dropping back is Suchanek. He throws it downfield. Several Tigers in the area. That one will fall incomplete, and it'll be 4th down and 10 once again for Park Hill South.
2 seconds left. You know, it's been a thriller of a night, Jordan. We've seen great offense and at the end of the game, even greater defense. Really, what do you think was the reason the Tigers were able to win this one instead of the Panthers?
Well, in a battle of 2 smoking hot offenses in this one, we saw the Tigers' defense step up when it mattered. They forced a couple of 3-and-outs, as well as a 95-yard touchdown on an interception from Thomas Smith. Then you've got the big boy Trey Wheat picking off a bobbled screen pass leading to the touchdown again for Lee Summit. The offense has been there for the Tigers as well, but the defense is what put them over the top of the Panthers in this one. We saw in week 1 against Liberty, they were down 14-0 at one point, and that one clawed back to 14-12. In the second quarter, they were down 14-0. They brought it back. It was 21-14 at the half. Then, in the second quarter, or the second half rather, they're able to close the gap again, giving themselves the first lead of the night, then making the score up by 10 points. We'll go to a quick word from our sponsors real quickly. We'll see you in a minute.
When it comes to SUVs, nothing beats Honda. U.S. News and World Report's best SUV brand 4 years in a row, including the 2019 Honda Pilot, one of the millions of Hondas built here in America since 1982. Or the 2019 CR-V, a crossover car and driver calls a better value than the RAV4. And right now, get Pilot with 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. For more offers, visit kchondadealers.com today.
Today is a new day. A day we've been waiting for our whole lives. We've put in the work to get to this moment, to have this opportunity to come together as a team. Everyone knows KC is on the rise, but what they don't know is we're just getting started. Community America, powering the rise of Kansas City.
Gear up for back to sport at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
What a game we saw tonight. Preston Field, the location. Lee Summit Tigers, the winners. Park Hill South put up a valiant effort, taking the lead several times in this one. 14-0 was the score at one point in the first half. The Tigers brought it back, 21-14 going into halftime. Then Lee Summit got their first lead of the night and eventually closed things out, winning the game 45-35 thanks to some great defense and a mixture of players on the offensive end. Thanks for tuning in. Signing out tonight for Tiger Broadcast, I'm Jordan Wood, joined by Kyle Cumberland. Josh Walker ran all the graphics, the camera work for us tonight to make sure you guys are updated on things that we're not talking about. So a big thanks to you for tuning in to us. We'll see you next time.